YagamiFire, bring the heat, let the whole room burn. Napper, bring the pain, every critic get a turn. JamessMK, walk in, calm face, cold stare. Everybody lose their minds when they realize he's there.
Cheers, James. You ready to beat these blokes? You sure about this? Fuck yeah, Applet. Fuck these clowns.
Raw, uncensored, straight out the concrete fog. No, sit down, shut up, we attack like dogs. Raw, uncensored, every word a street scar. Three maniacs screaming from the back of the bar.
Okay, everybody. I've got Yagami on this podcast here today. Hey, Yagami.
Yo, what's up, Napper?
Hello, hello. And guess what? You won't freaking believe it, but I've literally got JamessMK himself on this podcast. Hey, James.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
A basic.
It's unreal.
It is unreal. Like, if you're a Mortal Kombat fan, you already know how legendary this guy is. He was there during the original era of Mortal Kombat and worked with Acclaim around the first two games in the 90s when I was still sucking my thumb. Is that right?
You still suck my thumb, but hey, you know what? It's all good. It doesn't make me a bad person. But yeah, I've been around since 90, actually technically 91 with Mortal Kombat when we got the beta. 91.
Well, okay. Well, I'm freaking honored to introduce JamessMK to the podcast. JamessMK. It's a real honor for me that you popped into one of my Deception Conquest streams and said hello. And just because of your one action right there, it's put a fire in me to just make videos on the double, you know. And my problem with NRS is that they're not making the games like how they used to, and I just want to see things done right, and that's all my position is really. I just got a couple of opening questions for you, and then Yagami can take on the structure if that's okay. First question is, I'm just curious and interested. How did you hear about this channel, and how did you run into my lunatic videos?
All right. Well, you know, a lot of people in the community will send me videos of, oh, you got to check this guy out. You got to check this guy out. So the original guy who played Raiden hit me up, and he was like, he sent me a link. He's like, yo, you see this guy? And I just said, oh, if he's sending it to me, let me check this out. And seeing you rave like a lunatic, it was like watching me with a British accent.
I can't believe it that Raiden watched my videos. Amazing. I'm so shocked by that Raiden watched my videos and passed it on to JamessMK.
Napper, was that a part?
Irony? Is that? I was just gonna say, is that irony that you said shocked with Raiden?
Oh well, I didn't even think of that. Yeah, I meant that on purpose. What did you say, Yagami?
I was saying the same thing. I want to know if that was on purpose or...
Yeah, I was like, wow, that's perfect timing.
I was thunder shocked. Okay. Second question is, it's just for some of the viewers who might not be familiar, you know, some of these new guys who grew up a little bit after me. Can you just tell us about yourself and your history with MK?
So I was like the head tester at Acclaim Entertainment, and we had dibs on all of Midway's products. Don't matter what arcade game it was, we had first dibs. And basically at that time, I was a Street Fighter player like everybody else. And Mortal Kombat got slapped in front of my cubicle. Mm-hmm. And, you know, the initial buzz was that, you know, very, whoa, this is amazing, this is great. I was actually working on Terminator 2, the arcade game at the time, and I was getting annoyed. I was getting annoyed that people from sales and marketing would come down and play, and I would hear, finish him, finish him, finish him, finish him, finish him. And I said, you know what, I'm trying to work, guys, and everybody just had that, well, we're going to probably take this project. I was like, all right, so guess what, motherfuckers? I'm going to get so good at this game, I'm going to make you never want to come down again. And I sat on this game 23 hours a day.
Wow.
And I came up with, you know, the anti-air, like, you know, the stuff that I found, like the anti-air punch, that wasn't like, at that time, it wasn't prevalent. Mm-hmm. I found a bunch of infinites. So I got so good at the game. And again, this ain't me sitting here saying I'm like a phenomenal gamer. It's just you put in that much time, you're guaranteed to become phenomenal. I was playing people one-handed. I was getting 50 wins in a row against people one-handed. And I did my mission, which was to make the people, the minute I stepped up on the machine, they would just go back upstairs. And they didn't want to mess with the game, because we were in a basement. They didn't even want to, oh, he's there? No. We just, two marketing, we just wanted to play against each other. Nah, man, loser stays, winner pays. Winner pays, loser stays. So you got to beat me. And they never did. So then like I said, from that time of working on MK1 and 2, I left after 2. And I started doing the strategy guides.
Okay.
All at the same time that I was doing the strategy guides, I had a website called Fighter Edge back in the heyday. If you do a way back time machine, I think it only goes far back as 1996.
Okay.
You'll see the web page that still exists. And I wanted to build basically the dinosaur age of the FGC. So I mean, obviously, I still had good relationships with Ed and all them, even though I left. So I was doing the books, focused on the books, focused on building community, and it just, it kind of snowballed over the years until real life kicked in and kind of separated me from the community for probably about 7-8 years, maybe. And then I came back in 2011 when MK9 dropped, because I was like, all right. I know you guys are 3D guys, fans, and I liked create a character. That was my favorite aspect of the whole 3D era. And, in fact, my character, I don't know if you got them over in England, but I made a Hasidic Jewish character, and he threw smoke slow fireball. He had Sektor's teleport punch. And he had Dairu's backdrop. So no matter what the hell you did, I was fucking you. And then and at that time, pre-censorship, you could put like your own like message when you beat somebody.
Yeah.
And I think I said like, read the Torah, bitch. Something like that. And I continued it up until the 3D era, and then I just kind of stopped. And then when MK9 came out, it was kind of ironically, I'm sure you guys know Tom Brady.
Yep.
Yeah, we do. Yeah.
So Tom Brady used to come in between my disappearing acts. I was running an arcade in New Jersey, and I met Tom Brady. By the way, at that time, I didn't know it was Tom Brady. It was just another kid in my arcade. And I had just finished doing the Mortal Kombat 4 book. And, I kind of broke one of my rules of the leaking secrets. And I was like, he was trying to do Jax's arm rip fatality. I'm like, you know how to do quad cheese? He said, yeah. I said, it's similar motion. I did one of those similar motion, different distance. He did it. He figured it out. And then what wound up happening was he proceeded to start doing it on other people in the arcade.
Yeah.
And one of the guys, oh, hey, kid, how'd you do that? And he did one of the old school rules. Can't tell you. What do you mean you can't tell me? It's a secret. Well, you need to tell me. I want to know how to do that to somebody else. If you want to know how to do it, go talk to the guy behind the counter. And before he could come to the counter, the guy turned around to him and says, I'm going to go talk to that guy behind the counter. He says, when I'm done with him, I'm going to come here and beat the shit out of you. Oh, I heard beat the shit out of him, so I just got up immediately and proceeded to choke the guy on the side of the Mortal Kombat 4 cabinet, saying, "Who you choke? Who you fucking up?" And the guy's like, this is a business. You can't do this to me. I said, I'm doing it, motherfucker. I'll drag you outside. Next thing you know, I threw him out, and Bill was like, Tom Brady was like, oh my God, that was crazy. And I built a little bit of a friendship with him. I didn't run into him again until literally MK9. That was during MK4.
And now, James, Tom did the guidebook for MK9, right?
Correct.
Yeah, I remember because I remember having it.
a living guide, because again, in this day and era where it used to be on cartridges, what you burn is it.
Mhm.
With the world of patches, all of a sudden you come out and you're playing version 1.0, and then next by 2.0, every move changes, every combo changes.
Mhm.
So he came up with the living guide, which was like which was smart. You know, it was a forever changing guide that when the updates happened, he updated it.
I
That
didn't
also, it was a smart move on his part. You know, but obviously print media died not too long after that.
Yep.
Okay. I have a question where I've seen and already made some videos about how the atmosphere of the development office was like back then when Midway was around. Can you tell us a bit about your experience with your team and with Midway?
So, on my YouTube channel, I have a video of our office, which was very similar to, those videos that you saw on, what was that, Deception? Which one was that? Deadly Alliance or Deception?
Deception, yeah. That's my main game.
It was a very laid back, different walks of life, but we all had the same mission to entertain.
Mhm.
We're not trying to deliver political messages. We're not trying to solve racism. We're just trying to make a game that makes people go, holy shit, this is fun and it's crazy. So our environment was pretty much similar to that video's environment as well. But it's obviously, as anybody could see, that environment is totally changed.
Yeah.
Now it's a matter of who do you align with?
Yeah, true. Like, look at today's environment. It's like it's turned me racist. Well, everyone thinks I'm racist just because of the things I say. I'm not, but it's just the way they're trying to force us with all this stuff.
I mean, I've gotten that, and then I hit with the at times. Just because you have a black friend, I said, how about this? I was born in the 70s. I was raised in the 80s in hip hop. Like, that was my upbringing. I had no white friends. So at what point do you say, yeah, he probably slipped through the crack as far as being so-called one friend racist? I had no white friends. So I'm like, so you're telling me I should go warn all the guys I grew up with that, oh my God, I'm a racist now?
Yeah, exactly.
It's such a convenient way to dismiss criticism when, well, you don't like that they made Sector and Cyrax women because you hate women. Okay, but then why do we like characters like Sindel and Sonya? They won't answer that question because it blows up their entire premise, but they'll still accuse you of it.
Yeah,
I said to a guy literally today, I was talking to a guy, and on the job site, one of the laborers, we were talking, young black kid, maybe like in his 20s, and he brought up, because again, when I go to job sites now, hey, you're the Mortal Kombat guy. So they start talking Mortal Kombat, and he brought that very subject up, and I said to him, let me ask you a question. Let's just say I decided, because now that I've gotten involved in a little bit of film, I wanted to do a movie that tells the story of Martin Luther King and Malcolm X. And he goes, yeah. I said, but I want William Shatner from Star Trek to play Martin Luther King and Robert De Niro to play Malcolm X. Would you be able to accept that? And he started laughing. He goes, what are you, fucking out of your mind? I said, I could see Captain Kirk. Hey, I had a dream. But he understood the point is, like, there's certain aspects when it comes to creating stories that can never change.
Yeah.
And it has nothing to do with anything other than the lore of the original story has to keep the original continuity. Like when you look at the movies, Arcana disappeared in this new movie. I know it's your favorite movie.
Yeah, man. One of my favorite.
That was the first one I saw. What are you fucking stupid? I'm like this motherfucker. So, like, even if you think about it this way, before we even get into the stupidity of Arcana, I see this guy, the Garner guy, arguing with people that criticize the movie, but like in a real dicky negative way. And I'm going, you're a businessman first. Like, don't go alienating people, that are potential people that would be spectators of the movie. You're clearly making it like you sound like a fucking 5-year-old kid. And of course, the newer age Mortal Kombat people are like, yeah, fuck that movie review guy. He don't know Mortal Kombat lore. I'm like, motherfucker, I created half the fucking lore. I know the lore, and I know how stupid it's gotten. Now again, let me reiterate. Me saying that, obviously Tobias is the creator of the lore. I've added my 2 cents in with him that over the years has managed to mold or meld into something. But it's like, you can't call your fans stupid for not liking something.
No.
If I don't like it, I don't like it.
Yeah, it doesn't matter how much I get on here and say, fuck you, you asshole. I can't. Don't call me stupid. I'm telling you, I'm saying fuck you for a reason.
Yeah. And that's the thing. After X amount of times of getting called you stupid, they get shocked that you like, suck my dick. Whoa, why are you going that way? Because you've done nothing but insult me. So what? I'm supposed to greet you with fucking pleasantries?
Yeah, exactly.
There's a definite sense of entitlement from a lot of creators now, where they feel like because they're creating something for a franchise, they're just entitled to be fans of whatever they make because, well, I'm making Star Wars, you love Star Wars. I'm making Mortal Kombat, you love Mortal Kombat. This is Mortal Kombat now. And they don't seem to understand there's a give and take between fans and the thing they're a fan of, where at some point fans get to say, like, yeah, but we don't really think what you're making is that thing anymore.
Uncanny and the Cage Dude. Like, I see they get to go to the movie premieres and they get all the little privy invites. Listen, I'll never get the invite because I threatened to beat the shit out of Sean Hemrick, but that's for a different story.
What about me?
Yeah, how come you didn't get invited?
I don't know. I was thinking of getting Dominic Cianciolo on for a podcast too, and I don't know if he's gonna see that.
One day he'll be on.
Yeah, sorry.
You got about as much chance of that happen as getting Boone himself.
I'm gonna make a secret channel where I'm shilling them really hard, and maybe I can get him that way. Sorry, I interrupted you.
No, it's fine. But like, so a lot of these so-called, and I hate the fucking word, because if you get influenced by any of these motherfuckers, you're a retard. You don't influence me to do shit.
Yeah.
So why the fuck am I calling you an influencer? And if anybody ever that says, oh, this guy influenced me, I'm going to call them a retard too.
Yeah.
Don't let fucking asshole. I know the R word is now a sensitive word. So I'll call them all Down syndrome or some shit. I don't even know.
That sounds even worse.
Mongoloid? Yeah. Mongoloid, is that better?
Mongoloid. Yeah, you could call them that. Or you can just call them.
But I see them do this, where NRS. Here's the problem with NRS.
Yeah.
I like Boone. I've known Boone for 35 years.
I love Boone too.
He's been a good guy, but he surrounded himself with mongoloids, retards, and fucking autistic motherfuckers that shouldn't have jobs doing this. Think of it this way. If, you had a doctor and you needed to get heart surgery and you found the doctor, and the doctor's like, I went to school for like 50 years. I mastered the art of surgery. And you're like, really? You know what? I got you. Let me see your fucking, your track record. And he's like, well, over the last 50 years, I did 400 heart surgeries. And you go, how many survived? 6. You're going to go, you know what, motherfucker? I don't think you're cut out for this job.
I think your surgeon might be Kano, and his idea of heart surgery is not the same as other people's.
So when I see people like 16-bit, Tyler, the fucking yuck mouth,
the fucking King Mongoloid.
Oh God, fucking Mr. One Tooth, and all of them, Sean Hemrick, they all hopped on this, and again, yes, they've been involved in it for a while. That don't mean you deserve the job.
Yeah.
You didn't deserve the job. Carlos Pesina did all the 3D games.
Yeah.
You saw in your video that you put up, your last video.
Yeah.
Everybody was fucking at 5 and boom, yo, this is fucking awesome. This is great. That camaraderie that was there is what made the game the phenomenon that it was. Even when the 3D era did not do well, at that point, I believe the sales and marketing of that game dwindled because it was still under the Midway umbrella.
Mm-hmm.
But when NRS came about and brought the sales and marketing people, because they didn't come from Midway,
mm-hmm.
they brought new in. These are the type of guys that could take the shoes off your feet and sell them back to you double the price. Not only did you buy them, you thanked them. And you went, damn, did I just get fucked by these guys? Did I just buy my shoes back? But they said they were like GD shoes now. They're better. I could get wishes like Dorothy from Wizard of Oz. So how the fuck did I spend double the price after I already paid for it? That's how good the salespeople are.
They must be really good to sell that bullshit to us that they do in MK1 store,
Well, that's the problem. They don't, again, they don't care what they sell. They're just getting our product. They're becoming and it's ironic because I remember, I first met Ed Boon while working on High Impact, Super High Impact.
Yeah.
Which was, for you Brits out there, it's an American football game. And it was a kind of like an NBA Jam type of football before Blitz.
Okay.
And Ed would call me up and he'd be like, "Oh, listen, I just want this game to come out as close to the arcade perfect." And what's ironic is that time, arcade boards were king as far as memory and size. So sacrifices always had to be made for the Super Nintendos and the Genesis. And it was a matter of, do I sacrifice sound, gameplay, frames? Like basically when you're doing the game, you got to find little corners of shit you can get rid of to make the game even fit on a 16-bit cartridge.
It's interesting that you say that because me and Yagami was just talking before you got here about how the sounds and all the stuff in the old games, it's like perfect. It's amazing. The sounds are amazing. When you hit somebody, it sounds great. It feels great. And when you compare it to this modern day bullshit, it's like they're just slapping each other, even though they have all this technology to make any kind of sound they want. So I'm really amazed that in those days where they had to pick and choose what they wanted, they just picked the best of everything.
Nintendo sounded good. Genesis always had this. It was mono, doubled over,
mm-hmm.
to give you the fake stereo sound, and it always kind of sounded like it was underwater.
Yeah, it sounded weird.
But Super Nintendo sounded pristine. It just played like dog shit. And every time I tell somebody that, they're like, "What are you talking about?" I go, "I don't want to be that dick in the room." I'm like, "Well, clearly you're not really a Mortal Kombat player. If you play the Super Nintendo version and think it plays like the arcade, you must be on heroin."
Now, James, I would ask, since you were doing porting, so I've been in the industry a little bit. I worked on a couple games. That's what my background is in game design. That's what I went to school for. And what I heard was from back in the day is there was always like a push and pull between guys like you that were very interested in the fidelity of the gameplay. But on the flip side, there was always a big push, usually from marketing or the higher ups, for the graphics to be the big focus as far as the port, as compared to the gameplay, even if it was at the cost of gameplay. Did you ever see any of that? Was that ever true in your experience?
Mortal Kombat 1 is a perfect example. So, Mortal Kombat 1, okay, we were still working on it. When we originally set out, we obviously approached Nintendo and they were like, "Low blood, no good."
Sorry, you're
And then
talking
they
about the old Mortal Kombat one, right? Not the modern new crap.
no, I wouldn't talk about that bull crap. Um, so what happened was we had to get approval from Nintendo right off the gate. And they said, no decapitations. They were adamant, no decapitations. It's like, okay. So obviously Raiden, we turned his fucking, where it turns him into dust. That looked cool.
Mhm.
Sub-Zero, when I came up with the Sub-Zero fatality, it, in my brain, it looked better than what actually transpires on the screen, where he deep freezes you and then he jumps over to you and just gives you like a bitch slap. Because like if you look at the way, his in close move was that backhand,
Yep.
and it was just like, yeah, bitch, yeah, you're dead. It wasn't as glorified. I wanted more blood. They wouldn't let me do even the purple. Like I wanted the purple blood to come down the ice, and they were like, nope, this is it. I said, all right, cool. So that's what they tell us. And then Johnny Cage, no popping the head off. So I came up with the shadow kick through the chest. Then we finished the game. We're ready to fucking ship it to Nintendo. Nintendo's got to do final approval.
Yeah.
Which means if we don't get it there in time, Mortal Monday doesn't happen.
And that was the biggest day of gaming, like almost ever, was Mortal Monday. At least as far as I remember being a little kid then.
They spent $10 million on that.
And that's in 1991 money.
Exactly.
Wow.
So we send the game, waiting for Nintendo to go with Golden. Within an hour of them going through it, Nintendo hits us up and they're like, yeah, we don't want Kano to rip out the heart. What? That's not a thing. So we were like, oh, what the fuck? I said, at this point, if we miss tomorrow, it will wind up being fucking Mortal Tuesday, September 14th, which fucks up the whole point of a $10 million campaign.
That doesn't ring like Mortal Monday.
And then they turned around. So I don't know if you saw the Mortal Kombat Nitro video I put up on my page, where Johnny Cage, the original Johnny Cage fatality wasn't he kicks you through the stomach, he kicks you in the chest and all your guts come out the back.
Yeah, you blow out your back, quite literally.
Literally. And last minute they said, yeah, we got to take the back blowout out too.
Wow.
So we basically removed the fucking extremities coming out, and we didn't have another alternative for Kano. So we just remmed out the heart, and I tell everybody, it gives you a purple nurple.
The worst titty twister of all time.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, going back to your original question of like the time frames and the restraints. So now, because of the time we took, again, they need to beta test the physical ROMs. Mm-hmm. It wasn't like we could ship them the ROMs, or upload the ROMs to them and they can burn out a card. They don't do that. We actually had to buy this the game a plane ticket to go from New York to fucking Washington, just to get it so we could get the game out. Mortal Monday happened. Like, it was literally down to the wire. But like, going forward with other games that I worked on, like I worked on Aliens, and it was like I had this big extravagant ending, and it's like they turn around and they'll hit you with all right, you got 2 years to develop the game. 3 months in on the 2 years, and they're like, you know what? We need to shave off 6 months. What? Yeah, we need to do it in a year and a half, not a year no more. Then all of a sudden they're like, can you get it out tomorrow? And it's like, what? And you're working on like 20 SKUs at a time. And our teams were comprised of 6 people. That's it.
Because you were doing ports for like everything, like anything that could play Mortal Kombat was getting Mortal Kombat at that time.
And I joke around about it, and I'm like, whatever number you think, double it, because you got to remember, You know, now over in England, you guys are running on PAL. We're in PSC. Different signaling. That signaling makes a huge difference. Now we could play on, if we play on PAL, it feels like, I don't know how, I never do. I never asked somebody from overseas. When you look at one of our TVs, do they look fine to you, or do they look slow?
To be honest, I don't know. I've never been to America, so I haven't seen any American TV. But I do remember as a kid struggling between PAL and the other one, and we always had to play it in PAL, otherwise it wouldn't run.
Yeah, because all your TVs is like, but believe it or not, for us it looks fucking like, dude, man, what the fuck are you guys ass backwards? It's fucking like slow. But you're right, PAL is actually faster than NTSC. It's just, to the eyes, it looks visually slower. You know, it was one of those, like, you get 30 frames a second NTSC, but like 35 with PAL, so it looks like a doubling. And then there's a flicker that happens on the screen for us, where it's like it's almost like if you were to go in a pool with mad chlorine, and then you come out afterwards and look at the fucking sky and you see that haze. That's how it was for us playing PAL. So on top of all the NTSCs, I had to do that shit too. And we had a TV. I mean, you're old enough, you might even know of it. It was called a Grundig, which was like a German TV manufacturer.
Yeah.
And that was like, we had a Grundig just for when we did the PAL shit.
Okay. Next time I'm
It's
in
funny
America.
you mentioned.
Yeah, go on.
I was gonna say, it's funny you mentioned the difference in the frames, like how you were seeing them look like slower, even though it's more frames and it's technically faster. That reminds me of like when Street Fighter 4 was first being, I don't think it was even beta, it was like alpha testing. The animations were all like full animations for the attacks, where you'd have like, 50, 60 frames for the attack like you would have in a normal video game of animation. And everyone hated it because they thought it felt weird and slow, even though it was the same exact speed. So they took out all of the in-between frames of the animation, so it looked snappier between them, and all of a sudden people like the animation again. It's such a weird thing.
Yeah, signaling is definitely like a huge issue in game development that kind of doesn't get noticed much. Again, developing games, I've listened to so many self-declared game designers, especially in the FGC.
Mm-hmm.
I said, well, what have you done? What do you mean? What have you done in your life? Like, will you being a dick? No. Like, like, in order for you to sit there and act like you will just, like, I see the whole Tech and Michael Murray shit going on now.
Yeah.
And I'm going, motherfucker's got a resume. Do you? So before you critique him and say, well, why is he such a bitter, angry person? Look at somebody like me. It gets frustrating year after year to see shit like devolve. And, he at the end of the day, he is American too. So he lashes out, and people are like, oh my God, I can't believe he's bad. He's so unprofessional. And I'm like, all right, well, you just watch Tekken die, and after Tekken 8, you don't see another one again. And go cry for Harada and everybody to come back.
Yeah, I've definitely noticed there's a lack of awareness of how fragile the fighting game genre is, because a lot of you motherfuckers clearly didn't live through both the arcade era and like the 3D era, if we're going to break this into like Mortal Kombat timeline, because during that whole era of 3D, it was basically Tekken and Mortal Kombat with the entire FGC on their back, carrying it, because we didn't get other games for a long time.
I had a guy, Red Saline. He was an online MK3 guy. And I'll never forget it. I just went out to Indiana. I just finished the Mortal Kombat 4, the original one, book.
Yep.
Came back to our arcade, and he was there. We played, and he beat me. No qualms about it. He beat me. But he made the comment. He says to me, I don't know how you get to do a book when I just whooped your ass. And I proceeded to drive my knee through the coin door of the cabinet and break the fucking, because, you know, cabinets are made of like flake wood.
Yep.
Put my knee right through the fucking side of the cabinet. So, because I could do this to your skull. I never saw him again until MK9.
It's real Mortal Kombat for you back then.
And MK9, it's funny. So the way I came back, it was funny. I got married, and my ex-wife was asking me about, like, you know, I don't understand this whole Mortal Kombat shit with you. So I started Googling some shit. Now let me show you. And I came across one of these old school posts, not old, but like 2007. It was Tom Brady, it was Red Salient, and a bunch of other guys saying, JamessMK don't know shit, I beat him back in the day. So one of our mutual friends hit me up, and I was like, yo, they have a tournament going on in Jersey. I said, I'm gonna go fuck these people up. And he's like, what do you mean, playing? I said, no, physically. We're gonna fucking beat him up. So I go to the venue, and the first guy, who is actually like one of my best friends, and he's back to being one of my best friends again. He's over in Sweden. Yeah, he's summoning. He streams on my podcast, just MK stuff and KI stuff. But so he turned around, and I'm sitting at the hotel, and they had columns in the front of the hotel, and I'm leaning on the column, and this guy AC 1984, who was like a UMK3, he was a top player. He come up to me to talk to me, to be friendly, and you know, in my head, don't talk to strangers, motherfuckers. So he says to me, you here for the in Russian accent? You here for the tournament? I said, hey, you know summoning? Oh yeah, he's a very good friend of mine. I said, oh, perfect. Go find him and tell him somebody's here to fuck him up. And he walked away, and he went, okay. I don't know if you guys know Arturo Sanchez.
Yep.
Okay.
Absolutely.
We all do. He come out, hey, what's the problem here? I'm like, who the fuck are you? I ain't got no problem with you. I was like, all right, cool. Get the fuck away from me. Now he leaves, and I'm leaning, and I'm smoking my cigarette, and I hear from the right side of me somebody walking up the block, and he's saying on the phone, what do you mean somebody's here to fuck me up? Who would want to fuck me up? Why would somebody want to fuck me up? And he turns the corner, and he sees me. He hangs up the phone and goes, oh shit. And I said, yeah, long time no see, huh? Now, meanwhile, my other friend is standing there, and he's got his ex-wife's, his brother-in-law, big Polish guy, and he's like, oh, what's you don't mean? I said, shut the fuck up, you dumb Polak. And I know I'm not supposed to say that, it's derogatory. But so he just walked away, and then summoning fucking starts talking to me. And he's like, listen, you know, I know you can fuck me up. You're gonna fuck me up. You know, now the thing about summoning was back in the heyday of the arcades in New York City, whenever things got tight, they would beat me. Because remember, we didn't have cell phones. They would beat me, and I would have to drive into the city to basically bail them out from fights. So he knew I was pissed. I said, yeah, you're talking shit on me in 2000. I said, now I left the scene in 97, and here you are still bringing my name up in 2007, 10 years later. Mm-hmm. And he basically apologized. And I said to him, I said, say it. And he was like, sorry, I know it was wrong. I said, what'd you say? He says, I'm sorry. I said, okay, all forgiven. And it was that easy.
Yeah.
There was no, well, you better not do this again. All forgiven. Next thing you know, we're at the bar drinking. You know.
And that's the thing. I think in the FGC, especially like more recently, and you know, when I was in the arcades, I was a little kid. So, you know, I was keenly aware there was a lot of older kids that could really mess me up if I ran my mouth. But even then, you know, I was usually there with my dad, and he had, you know, he wasn't a trash talker when he gamed. He wasn't a trash talker when he boxed. So, that's not the kind of person he was. So he kind of instilled in me not to do that stuff, especially because you play enough matches with somebody, you can beat them. And that doesn't mean that's the end all be all of the matchup. So people are so PL, Perfect Legend is a good example. Someone that catches a lot of flack for losing sometimes. Everyone loses sometimes. Mike Tyson lost boxing matches. It doesn't mean he's not one of the best boxers to ever live. And people get too comfortable just running their mouth over a win. And I've never understood why.
Yeah, an example in sorry, James. Just want to say this one thing. Example in Mortal Kombat World, where we know that Sonic Fox guy is the best MK player, and what's his name? Foxy Grandpa. He played him and he beat him a couple of times, but it doesn't mean Sonic Fox is not the best player anymore.
No, and when it came to PL won back-to-back Evos when nobody else would.
Mm-hmm.
No training partners, practiced himself, did everything his own. I put fucking bounties on him. I tried to rock him as much as possible, and he stood the test of time, proved me wrong. First Evo, I was like, this motherfucking bitch ain't gonna win a second one. Who was the bitch? Me. He shut me down. I thought Rio was gonna seal the deal, and he didn't. But they also erased the fact that he's a multi-decorated Evo champion. See, I hate when people like Pig of the Slut will come out and say shit and will come out and say, I'm a two-time Evo medalist. All right, so that means you tried really hard, but you couldn't get it done. I came in 65th place. I didn't try. I didn't give a fuck. Whatever you won, I won too. Nothing.
Yep.
Except you don't have a trophy. You got a medal. I don't know why all of a sudden people think medals are important. I got medals out the ass in my house that are basically just paperweights.
I've got one medal hanging on my wall, and it's like I show this to everybody, saying, "Look what I did."
But you're not mentioning Napper that it's your Shinnok amulet replica, and you tell everyone you rule the Nether Realm.
It was a boat race, so we won. I came third place in a boat race.
Was it a model boat or an actual boat?
It was a boat. It had a dragon head on the front and teams of people inside the boat. So
you would have won it. Had the fucking dragon head on weighing you down.
Yeah, it was a Mortal Kombat dragon.
But PL still is a great player, gamer, not player, just gamer.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
His accolades in DOA, his accolades in Mortal Kombat. But you see the jerk offs in this go, oh, that was so long ago. I could tell everybody 285 wins in a row. I ain't seen nobody in the FGC ever do that.
I ain't never heard anything like that. 285 wins.
And that's what I got.
Amazing.
Yeah, there's the FGC has way too much of a "what have you done for me lately" kind of attitude, especially considering this isn't boxing where the sport is the sport for boxing. We're talking multiple different games over years and years and years, and different people have different aptitude and different experiences with those games. So there's a give and take to games that are going to fit people really well or that they get really into. So you need to respect the other people that have done other stuff in games before, because if you went back to those games, you're not beating them in them. So just because you're good at MK11
mm-hmm.
and you're better than someone that was really good at MK2 or Deception or whatever, if you go back there to those games, you're not beating them in that. And it's I don't know, it's not a zero-sum game, and sometimes people treat it just like, oh, Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat is Mortal Kombat. It's no, these games are all very different, and we need to kind of take that into consideration.
I mean, I got kind of so for me, because of all the time that I put in Mortal Kombat 1 and 2 over the last 35 years,
I mean, every time you say Mortal Kombat 1, I keep thinking of the new one. It pisses me off so much.
Definitely not the first one. The new one. But now, if you look at Mortal Kombat 1 and 2, the originals, for the amount of time that I put in, that's what made me the best. It wasn't a matter of me just picking shit up and like just all of a sudden being better. It was the time that was put in, which proves that anybody can do it. Was I special for the moment? Absolutely. And my 15 minutes of fame ran out. People like today's people, who the fuck are you? You know, oh, you're just an online troll. I'm like, you can call me whatever you want. But at the end of the day, you know, I know my history within the scene. And that's all that matters to me. You know, it's like I know I put my work in. And that's why, like I said, when it comes to Ed, I still got a lukewarm relationship. I mean, we got our moments. You know, I mean, I say, you know, again, you have two ways of doing things. Daniel LaRusso or Johnny Lawrence, and I choose Johnny Lawrence's way. I'm not going to sugarcoat, you know, if I say, you know, and we've had conversations, you know, I said I didn't like MKX. Well, it sold 15 million. I said, okay, I don't give a fuck, the billion. To me, that means your sales and marketing team is phenomenal because what you put together as a package wasn't selling, you know, and then they'll disrespect the casual people. Like if you look at like the legacy, well, it really wasn't made for the casual, the competitive player. Okay, so then why did you put online on it?
Right.
You know,
exactly.
A competitive player wants online. A casual that just wants to do story mode, you don't give a shit. You know, why'd you all of a sudden like bum rush cross play in and then basically abandon it once it, you know, nobody was playing? You're given a small opportunity to sell your game, a small window in time.
Yeah.
That time is about 72 hours. Within 72 hours, the comments from the people that bought them are either going to crush you or get you praise. And, you know, people will say, I bought Mortal Kombat 1 Legacy and I got to download a 135 gigabyte patch day one. You know, and it's like, you know, at the end of the day, what you get? Fucking all the same videos from back in the day.
It's very true what you're saying because I've seen it before where when a game is launched day one, everybody's trying to look at, okay, how many copies have sold day one, and they judge the success of the game by the day one sales.
Well, like the movie.
Oh yeah, I've told you before where I was in the cinema day one in where I live, and there was only 8 people in the cinema, and day 2 it was just 4 people.
I went in. Well, I saw it at, I want to say noon on like a Wednesday. I'm like, yo, I picked my seat. They're like, yeah. I said, what are these 2 red seats? Oh, those are the fire emergency ones. If you want to be the person to open the door in case of an emergency. There's somebody sitting there. He goes, no. Only motherfucker in the theater.
Really?
Yeah. And this is an AMC theater, and it was second week, like 2.5 weeks in.
Yeah. I see it.
All those fucking helmets. I gotta send those to 2 guys in Argentina though, or Portugal. I mean.
It was funny because when Napper and I were talking about the MK2 movie, and you know, and Napper, you had said like no one was in your theater. We immediately got pushed back, like in comments and from some people, like, "Oh, you don't like it, but it's a big success and blah blah blah." And we were like, "No, wait and see. No, it's not. This is not going to do well." And sure enough, we were proven right. Like if you look now at how well MK2 did, it did not do well as a movie. And the 3rd movie is now in doubt if it's going to come out because like it didn't make money. You damaged yourself too much with the first one, and this one's not very good.
Yeah, I'm still seeing people on YouTube saying stuff like, "Oh, look, it's almost reaching that figure where it's gonna break even and then make a profit afterwards." So it's still good.
Yeah, but the ironic thing is, it's like you're arguing to break even.
Yeah.
Who the fuck argues to break even? Like, I know if you decide, you know what, fuck it, I got the best hamburger in the planet, I'm gonna open up a restaurant, and you open up a restaurant and you don't make money, do you stay making the money to keeping the restaurant open? No, you get out. You go, I'm not cut out for this. And Todd Garner's got to fucking accept the fact that while you did get some help from the NRS people when it came to some of the story creation stuff.
Oh,
and
yeah.
again,
The best people to come and help you out, them NRS people. Yeah.
oh yeah,
Good job.
you know, simple things. Okay. End of Mortal Kombat 1. Cole says, all right, Raiden, I'm on my way. Where you going? Going to Hollywood to get Johnny Cage. Bitch, you didn't. Sonya and fucking Raiden got him.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had said that in our review.
Yeah. I was going to say that.
Arcana was just wiped out. You just got moves. Good luck.
And that's one of those things, like, if this is supposed to be a sequel, and it doesn't make a lot of sense with the previous movie, so, like, you already failed, and you can say people didn't like certain stuff from the first movie. Well, you're the writer. It's kind of your job to make them like it in the second movie. You can't just throw it away.
Why the fuck would you put it?
Likeable. It's so easy. They just don't know how.
There's a whole fucking story there. There's a whole fucking Mortal Kombat story there for you to go back and look at how the things were going. Why did you bring Arcanas into it in the first place?
Now, that's the thing I'd like to ask James about, because, James, so obviously you're a big player of the original Mortal Kombat era, and, you know, you did all the testing and the porting, but we've already talked enough to realize, like, you're really into the lore too. And I know that had really, really big investment for you as part of the project that you were kind of doing on your own at the time, where you were going to make Mortal Kombat Nitro, which was going to be like the super Mortal Kombat 1, kind of like Super Street Fighter 2 at the time, right?
Yes. Basically, it was going to be... So when we were talking about getting the game out, so something happened in the coding. Originally, Mortal Kombat 1, the original for Super Nintendo, played pretty damn close to the arcade.
Yep.
And when it was time to do some revision stuff, what wound up happening was, when Nintendo asked us to change up last minute, something happened. Something happened with the gravity. It was a fucking last minute. We just didn't have time to fix it. So, and that's where, like you were saying earlier, like, you know, if you ever watch Tom Brady's videos, he did a spoof making fun of Ed Boon talking about DLCs, and, you know, he turned into the Vince McMahon, fuck it, just get it out, fuck it, you know, just put everything out. We kind of had that moment too, you know, and it's telling because, again, one of the things about this industry is coming from the home systems, your deadlines are legit, you know. Mm-hmm. It's like, you know, you'll hear like a marketer go, oh, every day the game don't come out on time, it's costing us $2 million.
Yep.
But while the truth to that is there, sometimes you gotta fucking just hold that out. Like, listen, I need to fucking get it perfect. This, you know, this is not an example. So because of the result of how it came out, I came up with the concept of doing Mortal Kombat Nitro, which was basically spoofing off of Street Fighter 2 Turbo. So, you know, what I did is I redesigned the costumes, I redesigned a lot of stuff, a lot of features that I wanted to put in, obviously playing boss characters, blah, blah, blah. Long story short, they sent it to Boone and Tobias, and they both told me they would get ready to greenlight it. But the guys at Midway, or Williams, had hit them up with the, you got to get started on MK2 already. Yep. And, you know, they bum rushed that out in 6 months. So they didn't want to have a home version where they felt like somehow it would be competing with MK2. Truth be told, at that time, arcade was the arcade, home was the home.
I feel like people would have still bought it.
Yeah.
I do too. But that's one of those moments where you'll never know. I mean, I still, I got people telling me to dump the ROMs, but the ROMs are so fucked up. I'd actually have to fucking. I'd rather just go hook up with some Mugen guys and be like, listen, let's just let me give you my vision and you put it into play.
Yeah, because you had like pathing in it based on like lore in the game, like stuff people would do while they were fighting in the game, right? Decisions they would make.
Yeah, like for example, Sonya wouldn't kill anybody good, but she'd kill Kano. You kill Kano, you take your normal path, but if you kill somebody good, the end result is when you get to the end, you will become evil.
And like I know, I remember hearing you'd say like for Liu Kang, you like couldn't use the pit to kill someone. Like you couldn't kill anyone at all because Liu Kang didn't kill people.
Exactly. That's why if you notice, in the first one, he's the only fatality where the sky don't go dark.
Yep.
Yeah.
And even when it does go dark, he ain't killing them. It says fatality only because the prompt is telling the fucking announcer to say it. But what did you do? A cartwheel and uppercut you? That's it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yep. The butterfly kick. Yeah.
And Shang Tsung's like, what do I do? He just did a move. I'll just say it. Fatality.
Look, Shang Tsung has a brand and he's sticking to the brand. We don't deviate from the brand. People want him to say fatality. He's going to say fatality. That's just how Shang Tsung is.
He's looking at Liu Kang. He's like, get it out the door. Hurry up. Man, Mortal Kombat
me,
Nitro sounds like such a cool name.
Yeah, and it's so cool that you were thinking in terms of the lore already, because that kind of like respect for the characters, and we'd see stuff like that later on too in Street Fighter of all things. Like in the Alpha series, they had matchups against your rivals and stuff that would feed into the lore. But you guys, and you specifically, James, were already thinking of that in terms of getting different endings and having different paths for the characters in Nitro, which to me is really cool because I'm a big junkie for the stories and the lore with the characters in these games. So to see someone that was so involved thinking that way is awesome.
The lore is so important.
Yeah.
Because the lore is the story. This is why when you look at the movie, the last movie, they bait switched you, telling you it's a Johnny Cage story, and the motherfucker loses first round and he's just a spectator for the rest.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I don't know who said, what a great idea, make Johnny Cage and Baraka become friends after he punched him in the dick. Like, really?
He probably liked it. Like, he was like, ooh, that felt good. You're my friend now.
Now watching MK3, Baraka comes out. I got the talk hot fucking disease or whatever the fuck they do.
It's sexually transmitted, and he punched him in the balls. So now Johnny Cage has Tarkat.
But it's like they just fuck up. It's like they're a horrible story. Dominic is a horrible story writer.
Fuck that guy. Fucking hate him.
And I had explained it like this. This is how you know who's a good storyteller versus not. I could turn around to you guys and go, all right, listen, this morning I got up at 7 o'clock, I went to work, I came home, and that was my day. And you're like, all right, good story. Mm-hmm. Or I turn around and I say to you, yo, fucking, I got to get up at 4 in the motherfucking morning. I get on this cocksucking train. I sit on a train with a bunch of these fucking retards with their scooters, 60-year-old pricks that are riding down on scooters because they're too lazy to walk now, which before this they would fucking walk, but now all of a sudden they got these little special ed helmets on and they're bumping into cars and getting hit at 6, 7 o'clock in the morning by Ubers. And then I get off the train, I go to work, I gotta get my balls broken all day by these cocksucking fucking general contractors that want everything from me. And then I got these fucking moron mongoloids that I work with these fucking guys don't know their ass from their elbow.
Is it NRS?
I got to deal with these motherfuckers nonstop. And I turn around when I go home, I just want to get a couple of fucking beers. And now I'm doing this fucking podcast with you guys. That was the same. That was the same. What I just told you was the same as the first story. As I went to work, I came home. But which one's more interesting?
Obviously, the second one. You literally created a cinema movie inside my head with the second story.
Like,
I felt the frustration.
You know, and it's like they don't understand that. They don't understand redoing, making. You know, they don't understand how bad. Okay, you got rid of Arcana. Cool, good job. Can you explain to me how fucking Melina is her twin sister now?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, with Katana makes they're unrelated or something.
Oh, you're gonna make a black.
Yeah, they
It's
just
so weird.
completely ignored that Melina's black, and they're like, "Wait a minute, what are we doing now? Katana's not supposed to be black."
And I feel, and you know what it is? I feel bad because it's like, it ain't the girl. The girl did as good of a job as you could do as Melina.
Yep.
But the fact is, she wasn't supposed to be black. Now you're gonna say, "Oh, we're gonna bring her back as a revenant, as a sister," or you're gonna bring her back as like fucking, you know, Baraka's wife. Like, what are you gonna do? Where you can explain away that the whole aspect of the Shao Kahn asked fucking Shang to make the twin sister to keep an eye on Katana, which is basically what they did with Jade, which, oh, by the way, happens to be black.
I mean, I could explain it for him. Shang Tsung made Melina, but he forgot what Katana looked like, so he just mangled up as many mutant pieces as he could together.
He did a clone like a police sketch. Someone just vaguely described her.
It's a female.
You know, and then people were bitching Jade's hair. I don't give a fuck about her hair.
Yeah, same.
Yeah, I don't care.
And I don't give a shit that she's a girl. She's a girl. She's supposed to be. Again, I keep telling people, like, from MK9 to present day, they've been rewriting this character history, and it's like, Jade was green. Do you know what the word Jade means?
It means green.
The fucking green fucking ninja. She was not an answer to Melina's sister's cousin's best friend. She was kind of more hinted towards a reptile type character, but a chick.
Mm-hmm.
But you just blew that shit up. You just blew it up, destroyed it, and said, fuck it, you know, just make her a black chick. Same thing with Tanya. You know, Tanya.
It is weird you're mentioning the rewrites, and we've seen so much of that in the new NRS era where, like, if you try to follow the story of a character like Sindel, you can look at Midway from MK3 all the way to Armageddon and follow Sindel's story just fine.
Yeah.
But if you try to look at her story in NRS, well, she was brainwashed into being evil. Okay. But then, oh no, wait, actually she was evil the entire time. And it's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense with the other stuff. And then now we're back in the new one till, oh, actually, but no, she's always been good. And Liu Kang made sure she was good in this timeline. It's like, what the hell is going on with these characters? And they do it for so many of them.
They don't want John Tobias's story's legacy to be retained. You know, again, it's like Dominic just feels like his 2 cents should supersede whatever John did.
Oh man, I'm getting so frustrated.
Napper's getting mad.
It hurts, man. It hurts. Like, what made Mortal Kombat? It was John Tobias' story. Why are you fucking around with it, man? Whoa.
It's frustrating. It's frustrating to see the story. You know, when they did MK9, my biggest gripe was in the beginning on the island, the Shang Tsu's island in the beginning.
Yeah.
Johnny Cage doesn't fight Baraka because Baraka's not even supposed to be there because they're not in our world.
Yeah, he's an MK2 character, not MK1.
Why the fuck is he there?
Yeah.
But I can get past that and say, he basically became a jobber to fill space. But again, the fact that the Mortal Kombat storyline is basically like the Marvel timeline where it's fractured in all these different directions. Kitana and Melina had their own story. Scorpion and Sub-Zero had their own story. Reptile and Noob Saibot kind of shared a similar story. Liu Kang, Kung Lao, all these characters had stories. And you just didn't want to go with them. You just felt like, nah, let's just change it all. We want women Cyrax and women fucking Sector.
It's like
See, I've noticed a trend with that's really weird with Sector and Cyrax. That was when it really started hammering home to me. And it was so many of these changes seem to be to facilitate like shipping between characters, and a bunch of the retcons are like all this weird relationship stuff. Like we retcon Melina, Sindel, so that in the MK11 expansion, she could be in a relationship with Shao Kahn. And we had in MK11, we also had Jade retcon to be in a relationship with Kotal Khan. And then we had Sector and Cyrax gender swapped. And now Sector has the hots for Sub-Zero. And Cyrax was apparently used to be in a relationship with Scorpion. So it's like, what is going on with this? It's so weird.
Man, all these straight relationships is the gayest thing I ever heard in my life.
When they did the Chaos Reigns and they implied without saying it that Nightwolf and Fujin had some weird chemistry shit going on, and then you had Fujin going, I know I've been a god, but I've never got to have the love of a child.
What the fuck, man?
Because you're gay and you couldn't just make a baby, so you never adopted. You're a fucking god. You could just steal a kid for crying out loud. You might as well throw kitty stealing in the fucking mix with the game now.
Well, it's funny because that doesn't even make sense with the lore, because we know Rain is a half god. He's the son of a god. So like Raiden and Fujin could have kids if they wanted to, apparently.
Wait, what? Where are we going with this? What are you talking about?
I don't mean with each other, Napper. I'm just saying in general.
Okay.
And now I think in MK1, the indication is that Raiden doesn't even have Fujin as a brother anymore. Like the indication seems to be that Fujin might be a sister now.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
That
was my takeaway.
This prick Dominic Cianciolo. I hope he's watching this video as well. Fuck you. There's a video on YouTube of him where he's the lore master of Mortal Kombat. I never heard anything so offensive in my life. This guy's trying to teach us the lore of Mortal Kombat, and I can see right through him. And I literally have a video recorded where I'm reacting to him, so I'm gonna upload that soon. This guy is fucking clowny. I fucking hate him.
You can't be a lore master if you don't have any love for the lore, and judging by what they do in these games, they do not love the lore. It's such a pain. And it's crazy because it's crazy because so James, you said you were into Street Fighter 2 back in the day, and obviously that's a huge franchise, and we see the other franchises like Tekken with Tekken 8, Street Fighter with Street Fighter 6, and now even Fatal Fury, they're sequels. There are games that are still in their universe building on what came before from 30 plus years ago with characters that they've had go through events, and they've changed those characters and they introduced new characters. But for some reason, NRS can't do that with Mortal Kombat. They are obsessed with just reliving MK1 through 3, but doing it way worse than it was done back in the day. It's like, what's the point? You're trying to remake Rocky 1 and 2. Rocky 1 and 2 are perfect. Do something new.
Thank you. Yes.
Ed Boon used to have a saying: "If it ain't broke, don't touch it."
Yep.
But then he started to touch it. And sometimes it was a hit. And MK, the braking system, the X-rays, from MK4, the arm, the compound fracturing. There was certain things that he did put in, MK3, animalities and friendships and babalities, and there was things that worked. Now it ain't working, because again, a lot of those were arcade era. So, the demand wasn't as demanding. You can kind of take your time more to get something done versus a specific deadline. Back then you could still patch. You did an updated ROM version.
Yep.
Usually that updated ROM version was more if the game crashed, but you slip it in from time to time, something in. Why Kintaro made no appearance in this movie beyond me. Like, Goro got fucked up in some white trash parking lot.
Yeah, where's Kintaro? He's so cool.
You could have did a Kintaro, and you didn't. And, but the problem is they don't. So while they label the movies Mortal Kombat 1, Mortal Kombat 2, they don't follow one. Like I would have did 1, 2, 3, and 4 for the first Mortal Kombat. I would have ended it with Shinnok making some kind of appearance. Then in MK2, it would have wound up being, 4, 5, 6, and then bring it and lead it into Onaga. And now you got your third movie, which is Onaga, which eventually, if you want to do it, because you're fucking Marvel dick riders, you could have had the Thanos fucking everybody coming and chasing down 35 Johnny Cages.
Oh yeah, well,
you could have had fucking different timelines. You could have did a lot.
Yeah, they had the Infinity Stones. They got that part right. They had the Infinity Stones in the fucking game.
But it's like there was certain things they did that I thought, like throughout the game's life, like when they made Come Jim Gay, I thought that they did that tastefully, tactfully, and it made sense.
Yeah.
And he's the best combat kid. He's by far the best combat kid.
Yes. Instead, there's hidden innuendos in it. And I'll say this. I said this to somebody one day over there. I'm like, this whole sexuality thing that you guys are pushing, it's political. And of course, they were trying to say, no. I said, listen, at the time, Obama was trying to pass gay marriage rights in America when this dropped. And they were like, no, it's just a coincidence. I said, all right, then explain this, motherfucker. You're up to MK11, X and 11. Why did it take you fucking literally 28 years to make a gay character? You could have made Kano gay right out the gate from the original Mortal Kombat 1, if it was important to you. But you didn't do that because it wasn't the flavor of the month. 3D era, you could have made whoever the fuck you wanted, straight, gay, crooked, bi, trans, whatever. But you didn't do it because it wasn't politically advantageous. Now, when you start making video games or comic books or stories with the intent of politicizing it, you can't get mad when you lose half your sales. Because it's like, do you all think Coca-Cola says, are you in the Klan? Are you in the KKK? We don't want you drinking Coca-Cola. No, you don't see that commercial because they don't give a fuck. You're selling a product. You're trying to attract people to a product new, like, for the Mortal Kombat franchise. Yes, everybody's heard of Mortal Kombat, but not many people, outside of the niche group that's really diehard fans know the story. They just say, yeah, that's the one where Bruce Lee killed the big guy with the helmet.
Yeah, exactly.
But they don't know the Shinnok lore, which, by the way, I was talking to somebody else that said, I think I mentioned it to you, Shinnok is evil from fucking the movie Time Bandits.
Yeah, you should.
Really?
Yeah, you showed me something about that.
Yeah. I know people like to say, well, Raiden's Big Trouble in Little China, Johnny Cage is Van Damme, the ninjas are like the 5 deadly venoms, so.
Oh man, wow, yeah, that really is Shinnok. I just looked it up. Holy shit. That's awesome.
So it's like a lot. And again, not taking nothing away from John. Inspirations come from many different places.
Oh, hell yeah.
You guys heard some of my little music fucking ditties.
Yeah.
They're based on my lyrics, based on what I see in front of me. And, I'm not a musician, so I can't play a lick of an instrument, but now I don't have to. I can tell AI to do it for me. I said, but I tell it, I want my lyrics, motherfucker. Don't be coming out like fucking making up your own shit.
Yeah.
Especially when it comes to Chippy and Censored. I don't think you should say fucking your word. You said fuck like 85 times in this song. I'm like, I add 90 more.
Now, you mentioned something that I've noticed, and it goes hand in hand with the inspiration thing you mentioned. I think now Mortal Kombat takes too much inspiration from sources for the way they do stories. And I have a conspiracy theory where Mortal Kombat since NRS has been chasing trends in Hollywood rather than like cult classic stuff. You just mentioned The Evil Genius from Time Bandits. That's like a cult classic movie. It wasn't like a huge movie. Big Trouble in Little China is a cult classic movie. Obviously, you get the Bruce Lee films that they're not considered like major blockbusters. They're martial arts cult classics. But when I see MK9, I can't help but notice that 2 years before MK9 was J.J. Abrams' Star Trek, where they did time travel, which caused a reboot. But because it's not really a full reboot, it's still in universe, so we explained it. So we didn't really throw out the old timeline. And then everyone points to MK11 and MK1 being very MCU, especially because they got into the whole timeline thing and the multiverse thing, which they doubled down on in MK1 and then again in Chaos Reigns. And then I even noticed in MKX, I did the same timeline of like, well, what happened 2 years before this? And 2 years before it was Man of Steel, which was DC, but very like dark and very washed out as far as colors. And then that's what we see in MKX visually. And I couldn't help but think like, is this real? Like, am I just imagining this? Like, did you ever see anything like that or give any thought to stuff like that?
No, it's definitely, that's where the creative pool has thinned out. I'd rather, but see now here, it's a 50-50. So like, me and Nappa could tell a joke and we're laughing our fucking asses off. And then we put it out in a video game and everybody's like, oh, that was fucked up. Like not in a good way, like that's fucked up. Just because you and I laugh at something doesn't mean the rest of the world will. Now, what we gotta understand is, in the business world, it's to get as many people from every walk of life. I'm not, because you hear like, one of the things you hear now, and especially in the FGC with people, is they're gonna stop catering the games to the casual. Why, motherfucker? They're the ones that spend the money.
Yeah, that's crazy to me to even say something like that.
Like let's just take Evo, for example. On the ultimate Evo day, you never pass 20,000 people showing up. So if you do the math and say 16 million copies of a game sold, but you're going to cater to 20,000 out of 16 million, you're a fucking idiot and you shouldn't be in business.
And it's funny because I think, to your point, that's where MK1 failed a lot, is there's not content in the game for casual fans. There's just not a lot in it.
No, I think it was a combination. I'm a firm believer. They got hung up trying to do that stupid cameo system. And I think that ate a lot of their time and their budget, because the simple fact is it's wonky, it's crappy, it don't work well. And I'm sure that's not how it plays. I'm sure it's not how they wanted it to play.
So you think that was a big time sink for them?
Yes, I think it killed a lot of the time. And then, you know, Ed went into Vince McMahon mode, said, fuck it, just get it out there, fuck them. Just get it out, we gotta go. You know, and
do you think there's any truth to the conspiracy theory that MK1 was originally, at least in the planning stage, or maybe even in some of the development stage, that it was Injustice 3?
Good question.
it was going to, in fact, be an Injustice 3 in a perfect world. But I know you said you're an Injustice fan, right?
Yes.
They sold
No.
shit.
Yeah, they do. Yeah, I realize that's why people keep talking about like, oh, the next game they're gonna announce is Injustice 3, and I'm like, after the merger with was it Paramount? I'm like, I really doubt it because Injustice doesn't sell that well. They would want another Mortal Kombat because they think it is gonna sell great.
My opinion, and again, you know, this ain't a leak or nothing like that. But my opinion, knowing their track record, you are going to get an Injustice 3 revolved around Wonder Woman. And it's going to be Wonder Woman trying to get Superman back. Because remember, Wonder Woman's got a little bit of a boner for Superman. So she's going to try to get him back. And she's going to feel like I can get him back to the normal, you know, Clark Kent again.
I can change him.
And now that Lois is out of the picture, you know, fucking, she can get a little fucking punani from Superman.
It's just, man, Injustice Wonder Woman is the worst. She's so, like, especially in Injustice 2, she's so evil. And, like, I feel like, but I feel like they would just ignore that. Like, they would totally do that in, like, what you said, they would do that in Injustice 3, and they would just ignore everything that she did before, and they would not pay attention to it.
Put Plastic Man in there. Strongest fucking DC superhero there is.
Love me some Plastic Man.
What's that?
I love Plastic. See, I love Plastic Man, but one of the big characters I thought they should have always put in Injustice, especially over someone like Swamp Thing who sucks, is Booster Gold.
Booster Gold was made to be in the game, but I mean, of course, I'm talking about leaks now. Booster Gold was made. There was a model for him. He played like Johnny Cage, basically. Had the arrogance of Johnny Cage. They cut him. Oh, the first one or the second one they cut him? No, they cut him in the first one because the first one had him and Blue Beetle. And they cut Blue Beetle and put him in the second.
Yeah, and then we got the new Blue Beetle in the second one. Okay.
I'll be honest, I didn't know who the fuck Blue Beetle was, but believe it or not, I liked him.
Yeah, I think he's pretty cool in the second one.
And I like the kid Jaime, the kid that played Jaime from Cobra Kai in the movie. I actually liked it too.
Yeah, that's maybe that movie never had a chance, unfortunately, and I think it's one of the more solid DC movies. Because I really hate most of the DC movies. I think most of them are terrible. But like that one felt very standard.
I watched him in hopes this one's going to be the one that makes me a fan, and it never happens.
Yep. It's a shame Blue Beetle got really buried, and like and they just weren't at a point where they could make a really good movie. But like you said, I really like the actor for him. I thought he was very likable.
The fuck I bothered. I was like, really? Man, you don't need comedy relief in every movie.
Mm-hmm.
No.
You know, I want to watch DC series. DC has a problem with that, where they always gotta fucking make some comical shit and like extend it throughout the whole. You know, like Aquaman. You know, so you turn the most worthless character in DC history per the public's perception.
Yep.
So make no mistake, you know, Aquaman, when he gets his hand cut off and puts the Titan, what's the fuck, you know?
Oh, he gets the hook. Yeah, the trident hook.
Trident in his fucking hand. That's a badass motherfucker. I didn't know the deep from the boys. You know, and I was kind of hoping they went with that route, and they didn't. They, you know, They made him look like 1970s Super Friends version. And he wasn't bad. He wasn't bad, but he just there's certain characters. Why would Hal Jordan? It's like, no, I wanted Jon Stewart.
Yeah, everyone wanted Jon Stewart as the main Lantern. Just like in all of the movie stuff, like with DC, everyone wanted Jon Stewart because everyone loves him from Justice League because he was an awesome character in the cartoon.
We got the show coming out, but I don't know how good it's going to be because again, I've seen the trailer. It looks decent, and it's both Hal teaching Jon Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
But they also got the other motherfucker from the last one, the other Lantern dude, with the fucking British fucking Beatles haircut.
Yeah, I've lost all faith in everything from James Gunn. I think everything he's done in DC has been pretty damn bad. Like, I liked the Suicide Squad. I thought it had some good stuff in it, and then everything since him taking over, I think, has been like the Creature Commandos suck. Peacemaker, I think, is bad, and Superman.
I'm out on Peacemaker. There are moments I enjoy it, but again, they're getting into the whole fucking lovey-dovey shit. When you went from a guy that like literally ripped the motherfucker's heart out and stabbed him with glass, it's I need forgiveness now, and they turned him soft. So I don't know how. And then and they even did the timeline shit with the brother lived and the father's actually a good guy now.
And then they threw that away. That was one of the only scenes where I'm like, oh, I'm really interested in this because I want to see how he interacts with his father. And then they just kill him off as a joke. I'm like, really? I'm like, okay, whatever.
Yeah, but Marvel ain't much better anymore.
No, not at all. Not at all.
I love Moon Knight. Moon Knight I love because it was a comic that I actually did actively read. But then they would do Night and Fog. I forgot what the fuck the name was. Cloak and Dagger.
Yep.
And that was dog shit. So they but again, they all see things timeline. Everything's a fucking timeline.
Yeah, I can't wait to see the Wolverine trailer, what they released. I think it was today or yesterday, the game. See what kind of timeline stuff is in there.
Well, I've already read the entire script for the game. It leaked a while ago, and it's just as bad as Spider-Man 2.
Yeah.
God damn it, man. Is he going to help some gay person get together with another gay person?
It's Mystique and Destiny, and they're allowed to be super evil and just get away with it, just like in the comics nowadays. They can just be as evil as they want, and it's fine because they're a couple.
Amazing. James, I just wanted to ask, I really respect your time, so are you still good for time, or? Yeah, cool. All right, then we can carry on.
I wanted to do a bit of, as a fighting game OG, Tom Brady just did a video where he kind of went through his ideas for Mortal Kombat. And if I gave you some quick bullet points for in a Mortal Kombat game, I want you to be like the Emperor, in the gladiatorial arena, the thumbs up, thumbs down, let him live, or fatality him, you know what I mean? I just want to see what your takeaway is as an OG. So, chip damage, should it be on normals? Should it be on specials only, or should it be on everything? What's your take on chip damage? Specials, okay. The big one. This is maybe the biggest split in the Mortal Kombat community. Should they make projectiles clash and hit each other?
You know what? That's a good question because it never did before. So for Mortal Kombat, if done right and you give specific attributes to the projectiles, so for example, Sub-Zero throws the spear the Scorpion throws the spear and Sub-Zero throws the ice ball. I believe the ice ball should freeze it and drop it down.
Yeah.
Okay.
But then Scorpion versus Scorpion, the spears clash and get entangled, they both drop.
They should
You
make
know?
it more realistic. Like, you know how they're trying to make everything realistic. So Scorpion like drops down for a minute and tries to pull his spear back into his pocket.
Yeah, something that would get you punished for fucking up.
So like an example of that would be like in the Marvel vs. Capcom series, like different projectiles have different like durability. So like if someone like Cassie Cage fires a bunch of little bullets, they might still lose to the ice ball, because even though it's like 3 projectiles that, you know, she does like bang, 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 the one ice ball might still go through those because of durability on them, but maybe her EX beats a regular ice ball but maybe only 1 or 2 of the bullets gets through. Like that I could see.
You know, but like if you use a character like say Movado with the up from the ground fucking chains,
Yep.
you know, which is kind of considered a projectile, obviously that won't affect an ice ball because one's high, one's low.
Right.
That's where it would go through. But I believe they should cancel out based on the attributes that you assign to each type of projectile. If not, then I think like whatever sword, you know, Scorpion, Liu Kang throws a sword and Kung Lao throws his hat. 2 metal objects cancel out.
So we're on the same page, because that's my opinion for it. And some people are very against any clashing whatsoever and just want them to go right through each other. And man, it's always bothered me in Mortal Kombat, and like I've learned to accept it, but if they changed it, I would be fine with them changing. I would like them changing. What about you, Napper? What do you think?
Yeah, I think it would be a good idea if they clashed each other and a little animation happened. But no need to go overboard with the animations. NRS, thank you very much.
True.
Fucking lightning bolts fly through the air, and fucking the little old lady comes running on the screen and go, whoopsie. And then
That would have been a good idea, actually.
So what do you think about perfect blocks? Good, like, would you want them in the game or get rid of perfect blocks?
get rid of them.
Okay. I think a lot of people say up block. How about that one? That one's I think most people dislike.
Get rid of it.
That up block to me has always seemed like it's such a shitty fix for a problem that they made, where our jump ins are too strong. Make up block. Like, guys, could you make just like better anti-air options?
Going back to MK9, that their answer was armor. Put armor on everything.
Yep.
And it's like, wait, so regularly if I threw an ice ball at you, you'd freeze. But if you have armor, you get 2 hits before it freezes you. But if I connect with you with the first one before the second hit hits, I get to take you out. No, I froze you. You weren't blocking. I don't care what weapon you have, and again, that kind of falls under the projectile clashing as well.
Mm-hmm.
When it comes to certain things where if you're open, then you should be open. Not open because you got armor, you're not getting punished. No, you get punished.
Wow, it's very silent in here. Hello? Hello?
It does work.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Oh, I lost you guys for a few seconds there.
Yeah, same here.
Okay, we're back online.
I was just saying, hopefully everyone can hear okay now. It feels like a lot of times in the NRS era, we've had problems in the game, and instead of fixing those problems, they just give us a really weird and awkward workaround, like up block or breakaway, which I thought breakaway was a terrible mechanic, or perfect block. And it just feels like we don't get a lot of actual addressing of the problems in the core engine. And then, of course, when we get a new game, we get a whole new engine with all new gameplay, which Doesn't
Yeah.
seem like the way to do things to me.
And it's so
No.
new that when you do Sub-Zero's projectile in one game, down, forward 1, in the next game it's going to be something else, down, forward, start button, or down, forward.
Scorpion, back, low punch, back, forward, back. Like, yo, what's the fucking spear now?
Yeah, exactly. Like, look at the Tekken people, they can just follow through with their whole thing from the first game. They still remember the old combos and they can just bring it back into today's game. We had to fucking learn everything.
All three of Ryu's moves are the same since fucking the first day.
Yup.
Yeah. I remember Ed Boon saying that they made Liu Kang in a way where even your mom could play Liu Kang. And now look at him.
Button mashing.
Yeah, there's a definite lack of legacy in Mortal Kombat,
Yeah.
which I think hurts the series.
I don't think they want it. You know, even when you look at legacy, they didn't want it. You know, it's almost like they were like, fuck it, just put it out there, and if it sells, great. If it don't, fuck it, just put it out there.
Look
And
at
that's the problem.
yeah. Look. We had that environment in the old day where everybody was having fun together and a good time together, and they're creating the game with life and soul. And now look at these assholes just throwing stuff out just like that. And what's happening? People are getting mad. Well, I'm getting mad.
Now-
Characters, they were horrible, every one of them.
Oh yeah, and most of them are guest characters, which is so weird because I feel like the identity Mortal Kombat doesn't have an identity anymore. It feels like often it's just a vector for like Warner Brothers to advertise whatever their newest thing is. Like, oh, we have a new Scream movie coming out, so we need Ghostface in the game.
You're right about that. Look, Mortal Kombat 1 to me, it felt like a place where they're bringing in these extra shits just to test them out there. Because look, that Omni-Man guy, he got his own game. I think there was another one as well.
Homelander was popular.
Has he got his own game?
No, but like it's very flavor of the week. Like, oh, this is popular right now.
Yeah, well, yeah. To me, it's like Mortal Kombat's just a testing ground for every other piece of shit out there, and that's all it is now. It's just a testing ground for shit.
Yeah, it is. It really is.
Now, I've heard Ed is actually very big on like redoing the game with every sequel, which is why it changes so much for Mortal Kombat between them. Did you know anything about that, James, or have you ever seen anything like that in the history of the games?
Good question.
Nah, not really. I don't. Like on that aspect of it, him and I never really conveyed anything, either pro or against that.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, personally, I think they should just start from the fucking beginning and tell the fucking first story over, but just like without any of this added bullshit.
They keep fucking doing that over and over again, and look, they keep making it worse every single time.
Yeah, they're in a catch-22.
MK9, the scene where Cabal and Stryker were partners.
Yep.
And Kintaro fried them. That I was like, all right, because again, going back to MK3, you always heard that Kano fixed them.
Mm-hmm.
But this, like, it gave it more dynamic to it. Now, Kano alludes that him and Cabal knew each other before he became a cop, which kind of would have been cool too if he was like a corrupt cop.
Mm-hmm.
And but they didn't delve really deep into it. They just like, he's a cop, but since I helped you, you got to give me some blind loyalty for now, which made no sense.
Yeah, there's definitely, with stuff like that, there's definitely a feeling of it's like additive, where like you said, we knew about this in MK3, or it was hinted at, and then it's expanded on, as opposed to a lot of times just get like, oh, that stuff you remembered, we're not doing that at all anymore. And I would always rather see stuff kind of get expanded on so I can know more about the characters and draw on that old stuff rather than just throw it all out.
Great Kung Lao is a good example there, at the end of MK11.
Yeah, I don't know. From 2 to now, he got shafted big time. I mean, I like the combo system that they gave him with the quick punches and stuff.
Mhm.
And I found the Liu Kang Kung Lao fight appealing in the movie.
Oh, sure. In the new movie, yeah, for sure.
You know, they did nice with the teleport stuff. But the thing about the movie that killed me, everything was so in close together. It's like even though they were on other sides, all the real fighting happens like 2 inches apart from each other. And in choreography world, it's too compact. You know, you need like the part where he did throw the hat, teleport, grabbed him, and did the fucking the MK9 Kung Lao throw was cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
you know, they
I like that.
You know, they did the actual moves with the moves animations, thus teaching the actual die-hard MK fans, yeah, don't be doing this shit in the real fight because you're getting fucked up. You know, don't be trying to do a fucking Liu Kang fireball or even like emulate the motion of it in a real fight because clearly you can see that shit don't work.
Yeah,
you know, but it looked good.
When you were talking about the directing, I think, and I don't know if both of you guys are aware of the both series, but like the action of the new MK movie felt directed very much like current like MCU and Marvel action, where it's very tight and in close so that they can cut really often and redo it if they have to. Whereas I would have rather seen it like old school martial arts movies, or even like on Netflix when they did Daredevil, the fight scenes would be, you'd be like seeing like a whole hallway and he'd fight people. It'd be like a very long take. And you get to see the martial arts in action way more in a more, like a better framed way where you're actually seeing how it's happening instead of just like you said, that very in tight editing that I'm not a fan of that much.
Yeah, no, I'm not crazy about it. It made it look rushed. Let's be real, it was rushed. Even though it had the delay for the summer, it was rushed. You know, and the storyline, you know, like when you go to the first one, why the fuck did you even bother putting Natara in there?
Oh my God, I forgot she was in that movie. Holy shit.
I'm going to give you my evil Empress of the Vampires. Okay, yeah, dead. Like, what?
Dead.
It didn't do nothing.
I don't even know what we're talking about here.
So, in the first MK movie, she's like Quan Chi in the second MK movie. It's like, why are you here? Like, what are you doing here?
Yeah, it was bad. Shang Tsung tells Kung Lao, you're going to fight my bitch. She's the queen of the underworld, and this and that, and this and that. And she's up top of the mountain. She does that scream like she's Sindel, swoops down Kung Lao, like trips her and fucking cuts her in half. And I'm like, there's not even a fight. No punches thrown, nothing.
Yeah, it almost felt like a joke, but like, I don't know if this is supposed to be funny.
And it was a flawless victory.
Wow.
So weird. Such a weird decision. Like, that movie had a bunch of weird decisions.
But you got so many characters with in-depth stories that you can...
Yeah.
What I don't understand is you don't have to shove 50 stories down my throat right away.
True.
But you could take three rivals and develop their stories while at the same time keeping the tournament itself functioning.
Yeah.
You know, you follow Sub-Zero and Scorpion story.
You're so right.
The reptile, it has to be reptile shit. Only because of the end of fucking MK4. He goes, sad dudes, we're gonna help my people. You trusted me? I'm a bullshit artist, bitch. Oh yeah, I'll get you. And then he's just like, boom, fireball, you're dead and explode.
Yeah. All deals are off.
You know, and then I would even do the fucking Jared. If I was doing the movie and wanted to inject some comedic shit, I would have to do the Jack, Sonya, fucking Jared off the cliff.
Yeah.
The classic.
It's a brutality. It's a fatality.
Do. Yeah, man. See, that's clever. That's actually going back to something that's funny. You know, the whole community knows it's funny.
It's interesting you mentioned the different stories, because when the first MK movie was coming out, I was talking to one of my buddies that's into MK, and it's exactly like you said. If they did it smart, they had so much that they already had as an option. Like, if you told me they were just going to make a movie just Sub-Zero and Scorpion, and it's the mythology story kind of, that could be a cool movie. If you told me you're doing just a movie with Jax and Sonya and Kano, like a Special Forces movie leading up to the tournament, that could be really cool too, if you do it well.
You could have did 15 fucking backstories with in-depth with stuff. Since you want to be creative and redo shit, you could even get away with it.
Mm-hmm.
And telling the lore. That's why what was good about the web series. You know, I actually on my podcast I had the two guys that played Cyrax and Sector on.
Yep.
Mhm.
Yep.
And they did a great job with that.
Yep. 100%.
You know, that's why I guess I should point out, spoiler alert, the fate of Cole Young.
Oh yeah.
He's gonna become Kenshi. How, motherfucker, he got his goddamn face smashed in and thrown into acid.
Yeah, he's either going to be healed and be fine and be brought back to life, or stay dead. He's not going to halfway come back and just be blind. His head got smashed to pieces.
But what I said to Napper, I don't know if I said it to you too, where you could do this, but you got to do what they're famous for, swapping. Make him Cyrax. He is a descendant of Scorpion, and Cyrax is supposed to be fucking a robot version of fucking Scorpion with the whole yellow.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
You don't need his whole body back. You need the parts because of the cybernetic initiative. And then you could have him, but then they'll say, oh, but Cyrax was black. Okay. And Melina was white. What's your point?
I always laugh at the Cyrax thing, because a bunch of like totally fake fans try to use the Cyrax thing as a gotcha, because they're like, you'll say you don't like a swap in the newer games, like a gender or race swap, and they're like, oh, did you care when they made Cyrax black in MK9? I'm like, dude, Cyrax was always black. Learn your lore.
Go play the Dreamcast.
Yep.
The fucking shitty ass stories, movies. Fucking blow it. Sector comes in and fucking took Sonya and fucking Sonya and Jackson blows up the lab.
Yep.
But I mean, you can evolve these stories. I would rather see a movie of the ninjas and the Cyber Ninja Initiative starting up, and you could go with that. And that's a whole movie, and then they split off in their own ways, chasing each other down, but eventually wind up meeting at the tournament.
Yeah, it's funny because if they had done it right, they could have done it. If they want to copy the MCU, which everyone clearly wants to have their own MCU because it makes $1 billion, you could do that, and then your Avengers is the Mortal Kombat tournament, because then everyone knows the characters from the previous movies.
Yep.
Yeah, look at. I was gonna say something. I forgot what it was.
Well, like they rushed it with DC also. Like they had like, oh, we're gonna have 2 movies and then the Justice League, and then it's like, no, you got to take your time. And Mortal Kombat could have done that because they have such good characters with all of their own stories going on.
I remember.
And you could have gotten. I hate to say it because bigger names.
Yep.
You want Kenshi? All right. Guess who we're getting? Keanu motherfucking Reeves.
Right.
Boom. There's your Kenshi.
Once you prove yourself, everyone wants to be in then.
Yeah. And once you start getting, I mean, listen, shout outs to Carl Urban, because I keep calling him British, but he's from New Zealand.
Easy.
But
which is an irony in itself. The whole cast is all British, pretty much. Even the Asians are like I see like the interviews and they all got British accents, and I'm like, does America have? I mean, are we in Hollywood? Don't we have any? Like when I saw Tom Holland and I see him do his regular voice, I went, the fuck? Like with him and Cumberbatch, I'm like, I mean, as actors, they're phenomenal.
Yes.
But I'm like, I would have rather gotten Arnold Schwarzenegger to play fucking Shao Kahn. The British accent was just a little off-putting for Shao Kahn.
Yeah, it was.
You know, I was waiting for Monty Python to jump out.
I was surprised they didn't dub him. I was really surprised they didn't dub him over.
Yeah, they should have, because look, Shao Kahn talks like he projects himself in the whole room, like, you know, in 6 days, God made the whatever he said in Annihilation. He projects himself, and I don't feel like the guy in the MK2 movie did that.
It was like guys used to break my balls in the first movie. They're like, holy, because I do acting on the side.
Mhm.
So they're like, holy shit, you got in fucking Mortal Kombat. I go, what? They go, yeah, Cabal. I'm like, wait, the motherfucker sounds like he's from Brooklyn, New York. Hey, you got fucking soul sucked, huh? I'm like, what the fuck? You know, but yeah, they I don't know. The cast is the cast. The cast is only as good as the script.
100%.
You know, it's the reality of it, you know, but it's like, still there's certain aspects. I mean, Shao Kahn's done now. Killed by a ribbon. Go figure that one out.
Yeah.
It's a really strong ribbon, clearly.
I mean, clearly Mortal Kombat 13 will have a ribbon fatality.
Yeah. Can't get the champion of Mortal Kombat himself teamed up with Sonya Blade, the chief of the friggin' army. They both can't defeat Shao Kahn, but this little girl who's being chucked it, that she remembers her ribbon, and she kicks his ass.
Even like the Sindel, while the Sindel Sonya fight was cool, again, it was in such a tight vicinity. Again, the up close shit, like
It was like they were fighting in a closet.
exactly. But
Yeah.
she's running around in circles. I'm going, how can Sindel not hit her with the screen?
Right?
Fucking area.
And she didn't even use her hair either to grab her in any way.
I was kind of mad about that. I thought she was gonna, and I was like, no hair? Come on.
That's one of her coolest things, and she didn't do it all.
Nope. You know, and fucking her death was kind of eh. You know, I don't know why Quan Chi was even there.
Yeah, he was really bad. He looked terrible too. I showed Napper. I don't know. Did you ever see or were you aware of Mortal Kombat Conquest, the old TV show?
Yeah.
So I showed Napper what Quan Chi looks like in that. He looks so much better in that old show than he does in this new movie.
It's sad. You know, it's sad because even in that he was kind of like okay, but not like whoa. And he looks 1,000 times better than that shit.
Yeah,
he
it's
does.
just so weird to me. With all the budget in the world, they couldn't have a good-looking Quan Chi. Hell, the Grim Reaper in Bill and Ted looks more like Quan Chi than this Quan Chi in the new movie.
You know what it looks like to me that they're going away from the fantasy kind of side of Mortal Kombat. You know, it's like when you look in the old times, like in Sub-Zero mythologies, the cutscenes, and you see everybody dressed up like they're in a play. You know. And it feels like this is not. They're replacing it with CGI.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like if you look at the old school costumes for a character like Johnny Cage in the classic games, and then you look at Johnny Cage in MKX and MK1, and like it's a guy in regular clothes. It's so boring.
Yeah. Yeah, they I don't know, they I don't know what the fuck they think, dude. Now I sound like the calm version of Nappa right now. I don't know. Hey, what are you thinking, you idiots? It's not hard.
I have to be.
It really isn't hard to turn around and be creative. And if you're not creative, I'm sorry. You're like, if you notice, like when people talk about like game companies laying people off, and then you get that one guy, so you want people to lose their jobs? Yes, if they don't do it right.
Yeah, exactly. I don't give a fuck about your job. If you can't do the job, fuck off.
Or fucking Tyler, go back to fucking St. Louis and go watch some Kansas City Royal games and
Yeah,
I
go.
don't know, open up a pizzeria or some shit.
Yeah, and eat all the pizza as well.
He could be one of those trolls underneath the bridge that collect holes or some shit.
It is weird to me because I saw, and I started seeing this when I was in school for game stuff, and then when I got in the industry, there seemed to be a shift, and you can probably speak to this better than I can, James, because you were there for the old school stuff. It seemed like there was a shift in video games from people being in games because they were like, it was a tech job where you were kind of a geek and kind of into the nerdy stuff, like all the lore. But now there's a shift where it feels like people are treating it like a job in the entertainment industry, where it's more Hollywood in attitude and less about like that kind of older school mentality of making a game that's just fun.
And I want to add to that you notice as well that the people who work in these games, like Mortal Kombat, for example, they're more concerned with getting Mortal Kombat on their CV. So it's like,
Yes.
Okay, I've got it on my CV. Now I can jump to the next ship and say, hey, I worked on Mortal Kombat.
You know, the way the industry used to be is, again, we didn't have teams of 100 people. But what you had is you two guys are in a band together. And you try to make it as a rock and roll band. Well, you know, you're kind of stoners and you need income until your big break in the music industry comes in. So you figure, well, shit, I can get paid to play video games. That's a quick, easy job. And it was always a very loose attitude. Like, I mean, you could come in with one sneaker and one shoe on and nobody would fucking break an eye. Sometimes you come in whenever you want, you know, shit like that. And the people like myself at the time, it's about the stories. It's about being able to tell the stories. Now, this is before the industry the gaming industry got compared to Hollywood. It's before the overinflated budgets of, Mortal Kombat. The movie is $80 million. I think they might have spent more on the game.
Oh, it's probably 2 or 3 times that, which is crazy to think about.
And it's like, hiring QA to break products, you don't need 500 people. You need 50 people that want to be in the industry. And they'll do what it did. Like, when I was at Acclaim, the running joke was like the old Fruit of the Loom commercial. I was Inspector 69. Everybody, even if it was a game I didn't work on, they would give it to me as a final test. Basically like the old Mikey Life commercial. If it can be broke, he'll break it. And it would come down to that passion to make a product that, like, yes, like a movie. But yeah, you're right. Now everybody thinks they're Hollywood. You look at, like, between the influencers, Tyler Land's down here to talk to you too.
I wish he would talk to me, the fucker.
I don't think he will ever again now. You had a chance.
Sorry, I mean, fat people are jolly, so he's a jolly old guy.
All 2 teeth. All 2 teeth. New DC hero, 2 teeth. But it's like, man.
The funny thing you mentioned that it gave me pause was you were talking about like how much smaller the teams were. And obviously, games are more complicated now, which is funny because it's been explained to me before. When you get a bigger team, there's way more room for mediocrity.
Yeah.
And I think we see a lot of that now because, like, Mortal Kombat was made by very few people, and it was sink or swim, and it would have basically been on all of them because there wasn't that much work to go around. But now Mortal Kombat's so big as a project, it can entirely fail or be really bad, and a bunch of people can just shift the blame infinitely, and it's really then it becomes no one's fault.
Yeah, it's testers. What? What do you mean my fault? Even if you miss something, that's the game breaking. It don't matter. We patch it out.
Yep.
Versus, again, that's the other thing. When you went to the format, and it's like there was no patching on a cartridge, so you fucking damn well better get it right, or you get a recall.
Mm-hmm. And that's a death knell back then, right? That's like the distributor is going to be, the producer is going to be mad, the distributor is going to be mad, the game console company is going to be pissed off. It's like it's a lot of trouble.
And the Better Business Bureau, while they're not like a law enforcing type thing, but you get that notch on your belt in Better Business Bureau. Yeah, into the game, Uncanny X-Men for NES.
Yep.
And the problem was you had to collect these discs. And every time you collected a disc, it would give you a saying, and you had to decipher what was in the disc and save it, put it on the side. The talk about fucking ballsy. In order to finish the game, there was a code that you had to enter when you deciphered the code that you got on the discs. It would tell you to look at the cartridge for the code.
Yep.
Well, how do you look at the cartridge? Oh, you got to take it out of your fucking system. Game over right there. And motherfuckers thought that was some smart shit. But that almost caused the recall.
Jeez.
Because Nintendo's like, you can't force the guy to get all the way to the end, read the whole fucking thing, decipher it, and then tell him to take the game out and put it back in.
That doesn't make any sense.
That's pretty funny.
But that's what they did. It's funny. I watch speedrun guys doing like Friday the 13th in like 13 seconds and shit. I'm going, a lot of these games were just abysmal. TNC Thriller Safari, a fucking monkey on a surfboard. It's just so many fucking Rambo. Rambo was actually fun though.
Now, you mentioned one of the things that just occurred to me actually was when talking about the small teams and like the deadlines and stuff, and even like you had the blood code. It reminds me of like how big secrets were in Mortal Kombat before, but they were so much easier to make back in the day because like, I palette swapped a ninja and I gave him both moves. Like you can bang that out in like a weekend, whereas now to make like something like Floyd, I'm sure it took 150 people, 5,000 man hours to do that. And was it even worth it? Probably not.
And also as well, no hate on Ed Boon, but when they made this fucking secret, they just went and told everybody, we've got a secret in the game. You gotta find it, what it is. But we've got a secret. We're not gonna tell anybody. If you have...
You know what? We were guilty of it too. So when I came out with the Abacab code, I was all proud of myself. Because I thought it was witty. Because I'm like, wait, Abacab, the band is Genesis. The system is Genesis. What a perfect combination. Nobody's going to figure that out. The game released on Mortal Monday by fucking Tuesday, not even Tuesday. By 4 p.m. Monday, our company released the code.
Yep.
And I was like, really? All this effort that I put into concocting this shit, and you just eliminated it like that?
Right.
But like...
They rushed the money shot. What are they thinking?
No, they made the money. Trust me, they made the money. Trust me, they made the money. But like the whole secret stuff is always important. But the problem is now again, with such big teams. So even when NRS finishes a Mortal Kombat game, they got to send it into Microsoft for approval. Microsoft has their own QA department that rips the game apart, trying to break it.
Mhm.
They have to be given everything.
Mhm.
You can thank Acclaim for that when they did Dave Mira's BMX and put strippers on the bikes, but didn't tell Nintendo. And then Dave Mira, whatever that, I think he passed away, but he sued them.
Damn.
You know, you fucked up my brand. I don't condone strippers on bikes. You know, but they always try. They did something in the UK for if somebody named their kid Turok, they give him 10 grand or some shit.
Oh,
And
yep.
And the guy did it, and I guess he didn't get the money. And another guy got a tattoo for Shadowrun, and fucking same shit.
Yeah.
They did a lot of fucking people over. So what's ironic about it is, though, for years Ed would tell me, you know, fucking, you know, Acclaim, you guys rush shit, and he was right. You know, he was about quality.
Mhm.
Quickly the tides turn. How quickly the tides turn. These are Russian. He's now Russian.
Yeah, and you can see
It becomes different. Yeah.
You know, but it's an industry that, like you said, it's so different now. Everybody's Hollywood, you know, that works on the games, and they're the moral high ground. You know, again, if you don't buy God of War, somehow you're misogynistic. No, I just don't give a fuck about the game anymore.
How dare you? How dare you?
You know, if you don't cheer on a heroine, then you're a bad person. I like Laura Croft. I thought that was good. I'm not going to just support a chick character because you say I should.
I like to bring up Xena Warrior Princess as my thing to latch onto when I need to have an argument against this. Because I used to watch that when I was a kid, and I was always interested in it. And look, I'm a grown man, okay? I'm not gonna look at a woman heroine character and be inspired. I want to look at someone that's bigger and better than me, and look at him and say, yeah, I want to be like him, and then try and emulate the person. You know, that's my fanship to whatever I'm looking at. I can't do that with a woman.
No, not really. I mean, again, I'm not trying to be mean to women.
Yeah.
Present day gaming girls try to act like they're the Harriet Tubman and Susan B. Anthony's, the freedom marches for gamers. I'm like, bitch, you know, in 1974, I was inspired by a chick gamer. So stop acting like you're the first ones that like came out from the back room and could be out in the light. You're just another notch on a belt of girls who were better than you.
Yeah.
Girls that could fucking fight, you know, in the arcade days, they'd scrap. And I'm not talking cat fight, I'm talking square it up like Tyson.
Yeah.
And they were great gamers. You know, and it's like, you know, we're in a scene now that, you don't support God of War because it's a girl. Yeah.
Joke's on them. I've never played a God of War game.
I actually
Really?
did up until the kids started popping out. And then I never got into the kid thing. I was like, I'm not fucking using a kid.
Yeah. Like they have it in these other games like Spider-Man as well, where you have a section where you play as this deaf black lady, and it's like, what the hell, man? I'm trying to play Spider-Man. Why the fuck I gotta play this section for? I want to be.
That was the crazy thing in that game. One of the leads of the game. So in the first Spider-Man game, they force you to play as Mary Jane in the worst stealth sections of all time.
Yeah. Look
And
at
then,
that.
Yeah, and people complained about it. And then in the second game, he's like, oh, I heard your complaint, so I added more of those. And he thought it was like funny. It's like, dude, what are we doing? Why?
Yeah. Again, people assume, it's like what I said earlier, people sit there and think that, like, just because us three laugh at a joke doesn't mean it transitions well. They don't have that filter in them to say, hey, you know what? Maybe nobody gives a fuck if it's a girl character, if she's cool.
Right.
Yeah,
You know?
true.
You know, same as in Mike Metroid. I like that. You know, fucking, what are the girl chick characters that I really get into?
Well, I like Sonya from Mortal Kombat. I always thought she was a tough girl. I never ever looked at Sonya and thought, she's a girl. How can she fight Kano? How can she be after a gang member like that? That's not what girls do. No, I never said that. I always looked at Sonya and thought, whoa, she's chasing after Kano. She has a feud against him. And she does the thing where she gets her legs around his neck and breaks his neck. You know? It's amazing.
Yeah, and now we get characters like Jade, instead of being Katana's bodyguard in the games where she's a badass. Now the most recent thing we've had with Jade in the games is, oh, she's Kotal Khan's girlfriend. Like, that feels like a downgrade.
It's so shit, man.
Wasn't Scarlet bagging him too, and that's like a stepdaughter?
The Scarlet thing was a weird change where she used to be a blood construct, and then she's like Shao Kahn's adopted daughter out of nowhere. And it's like, wait, that doesn't make any sense. And like, she was just like a little outworld girl that he adopted for no apparent reason. It's like, that doesn't make any sense with Shao Kahn.
Yeah.
And then I guess Kotal Khan was with Jade, but also was with Devora, who's like a bug lady. It's like, what? Ugh. That's weird.
I know, man. What is with this? I'm getting confused.
All the
right
shipping.
now.
Dominic loves shipping. Clearly, he loves shipping characters together. And it's weird.
How about we ship him off to some place where he's never gonna come back from? Fucking dork.
Yeah,
I did want to say, James, one thing that I've heard you say and talk about that I respected, because I think it's a really good reality check. And Tom Brady has talked about this too and got pushback for it. And I understand why he got pushback. And I think it's stupid that he did. Just like I'm sure you would get pushback for it. You've mentioned in the community about kind of taking on the tough position of reality checking people coming into fighting games as a community. And telling them, like, look, don't expect to make money in this. Do this for fun, because there's no money in it. And people freak out when people say that.
You're trying to wreck it. Wreck what, motherfucker? Where's the money? Oh, well, this guy made $1 million. One guy. You'd be making it sound like they'd be making it sound like it's like, you know, fucking guys making $85 million a year just playing. I'm like, no. It's basically the FGC is a glorified pool hustling convention.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, that's such a good way to put it.
Now, you are considering yourself a pro, but you're just beating guys for money on the street. Now, it's big money, but you're not in the professional pool league. Now, they make money too, they make more, but they're in an organized league. You're just playing outside in the back room at a bar. Yes, you're playing for more money, but you're a hustler.
Yep.
And they get mad at that. Oh, you know, I know Foxy gets mad at me time to time. You know, I told Foxy, go be an electrician in fucking England or something, you know. And I thought he was doing it. I don't know if he did. But, you know, he always would push back. Well, I make money. He said, listen, I'm not saying you can't make money. I'm saying out of every FGC event you've been to or watched or anything, you know that guy, the fucking commentator, what's his name? I think he's from England. Name a commentator from England.
The The biggest ones I know are like Ketchup and Mustard from Mortal Kombat are big commentators.
This guy's like 50, 52 years old. He's old.
Oh, I don't know who you're referencing.
He's like 50, maybe he's a little, like 50, maybe 50, 51. What the fuck is his name? Oh,
I
wait,
don't know who
I remember. There is none, motherfucker. There's no 50-year-old motherfucking commentators. Nobody wants to see a fucking old man talk about video games. So at what point do you realize your days are numbered in your 40s?
True.
Eventually, Capcom's going to go, hey, Napper, you know, I like your commentator. I like when you yell, but you're too fucking old.
Yeah.
And there is a physical component to video games. Like there's reaction time, there's ability to learn new stuff, there's having the energy to put towards it.
And, you know, and then as far as players go, people go, well, I can still do it. And I'm like, okay, you're still not past 50. You know, and I try to explain to the guy, you know, I don't know, did I mention to you guys about my hand or no?
Yeah, you you're going for the surgery for it, right?
Yeah. So that's part of becoming an old motherfucker. This ain't something that just like, you know, I broke my hand punching a guy in the face and I punched a wall or something. This is getting old. Your body just says, I don't want to do that no more. Hey, I want to go take a piss. My legs are like, man, I don't want to. But I need you to get to the bathroom. No, you don't. You piss your pants, motherfucker. Come on, legs, help me out here. All right, we'll get you there this time. You know, and it's very select. You know, your body becomes, well, as long as you keep doing it, you'll be fine. You know, circumstances happen. You know, fucking people get cancer, whatever. You know, I know guys that smoked 100 years like myself, no cancer, but I know guys that never touched a cigarette in their life and they got fucking lung cancer. You know, so it's like at a certain point, you got to look at this and go, where do I go from here? And when I do throw in the towel, what do I got out of it?
Yeah.
Now, if you could say, well, I made some good friends, that's a good start.
Yep.
But if you think you're going to like get in bed with Mad Cats or Capcom or any of these other people, and they're gonna just say, you know what, we're gonna cut you a check for $50,000 a month. No. You're lucky you can get a fucking $50 fucking coupon to get a fucking DLC. You know, but it's like they don't realize that. You know, and Bill got a lot of flack for telling people that, you know, the FGC as a whole pushes this esports. You can be, you know, you too can be a millionaire just like me. No, you're not a millionaire, motherfucker. So why you giving the speech? You know, and it's like they don't understand it. And then they'll tell you you're just negative. No, I mean, like I said, I started fighting games around 76, 77. Is when I really started playing fucking any type of now it's technically heavyweight wasn't a fighting game, it was a boxing game. Let's just say Karate Champ and Ring King. So that was like 83. And we played competitively, you know, in New York. It wasn't like, you know, I mean, it wasn't tournaments and shit like that, but we all met in the arcade, you know, 20 guys would meet in the arcade and have a fucking tournament and Karate Champ, and it was the most balanced fighting game of all time. Moves were exactly the same. Only difference was red gi, white gi. And since
the
then,
balance everyone craves, perfect balance.
But since then, nobody's been able to repeat the balance. You know, but it's like, yeah, you gotta. Not that you got like, and that's the thing. I'm not telling people not to game.
Right.
I'm not telling people not to. Well, I'm telling them not to go to events when there's pedophiles, rapists, and all these other weirdos running around. But it's like, I'm not telling you not to do it. I'm telling you to be smart.
Yep.
Know that there's a limit to how far you can go. That don't mean you suck at games. It just means you're not going to win.
Also, the other thing is, like, all of it could go away so easily if we go through another period where fighting games crash and there really are none and there's no interest. Well, if you've tried to build your life around this, all of your options just went along with it. And I really respect that someone is saying this kind of stuff and kind of checking the expectations, because I think like you said, the FGC can sometimes sell a bill of goods. It can write a check that it cannot cash. And younger people getting roped into that, younger people get excited about stuff. And fighting games is one of the most hype communities of games anywhere, which is awesome about it. People like fighting games. We all like fighting games. We get hyped about it. We hype each other up. That's awesome. But sometimes that means people get smoke blown up their ass and they get carried away thinking like, oh, if I just travel around to all of these tournaments and blow all this money doing that and don't take care of my life in any other respect and build something for myself, it'll work out because there's so much money in the FGC and I'll win these tournaments. Like, no, man, like, calm down. Do this for the love of doing it, but take care of yourself with having a life. Don't think you're going to be the 1% of 1% of 1% that might make some money someday.
You have a better chance of joining a football team or something,
Exactly.
They don't want to understand it. They want to live in this bubble that they're, they want to be able to say they're a professional gamer.
Mm-hmm.
But what makes you a professional? So
making a living.
If like let's use football or soccer, as we call it, as an example. Does Chelsea play against the the London middle school, high school team?
Hell no.
No.
Why not?
There's a huge difference of power levels there.
Okay. But when you go to an FGC event, that happens everywhere you go.
True. Yep.
So how the fuck are you gonna call me a professional? And then this is where again, me and Foxy were back and forth. Well, if you do something that makes money, you're a professional. So when I was back in the heyday, I don't know how old you guys are, but back in the heyday, you could get a paper out and deliver papers to the neighbors, and you would collect the money at the end of the week. Am I a professional paper boy? I'm making money. But when you take, better yet, the New York Yankees are going to come up and play the fucking Providence High School fucking freshman team in baseball. And it would look like a joke.
Yep.
But yet we go to these FGC events, we just call them pot monsters.
Yeah.
That justifies it to them. And, and when we did get to a point where Richard Lewis and ESL tried to get it on that level to build professionalism, the people in the community who expected to get a cut didn't. So then all of a sudden, Richard Lewis was homophobic, racist, devil, Nazi, whatever you can fucking throw at him. And then he was like, you know what? He did the coffin, screw you guys, I'm going home. And he left. And then they were like, what, wait, we don't get the money. It was like the NRS scene was a perfect example. So the NRS scene, so during MK, I want to say it was X, if I remember correctly. So ESL picked up MKX. They had Z, Tasty Steve, and the Condiment Brothers, Mustard and Ketchup.
Mm-hmm.
But people got mad because Z and Tasty Steve weren't Mortal Kombat players. So they were like, well, how could you have 4 of these guys? You know, you got to bring in Mr. Aquaman and Tom Brady. And ESL was like, excuse me, motherfucker? Oh, are you paying for the talent? Now, you're going to tell me who I can and can't hire? And it made no sense. So the FGC as a whole made zero investment. But if you want to call the shots of who's allowed to be in it to compete, who's allowed to commentate, and that just goes and shows you the arrogance of the people in the community that when it comes to fucking gaming, like they think they know. I tell everybody the same thing. I would hire you to create a video game if you give me a resume that shows me you have any success in life.
Makes sense.
Any. I don't give a shit. Tell me, yeah, you know, I started a band and when I was 16 and I made 4 albums, but they really didn't go anywhere. Okay, but you recorded albums? Absolutely. That shows me you're involved in the creation side of a business. I can work with that. But if you go, well, I won Combo Breaker in 2019 for the game. Okay. And what is that? You were a consumer.
Yeah.
Yeah, you didn't build anything there. There's no building. You participated.
You know, Sonic Fox, great player. I don't think he could make a video game if his life depended on it. No offense to him. I think he would, you know, he's another, and again, no shade his way, he's a dishonest gamer. He's the type of guy that finds the grime and makes sure to expose it for what it is. Like, he doesn't just say, okay, let's go one-on-one, me and you. It's, oh, I found out with Alien, if I do the flips and acid and keep you in it. Or the cow drops with fucking, what's his name, the cowboy.
Oh, Aaron
Black. And you just watch the energy drain.
Mm-hmm.
That just means he put in work to figure out that pattern. But then when you break his pattern on him, he gets confused.
Mm-hmm.
You know, his patterns are very one. And again, I'm not trying to shit on him. He's a great gamer. But like at a certain point, you got to go. That don't mean you can fucking make video games. It means you can play them.
Yeah, there's definitely the craft of making games is definitely underappreciated. Like the fact that it is both a talent and it's something that you need to actually work at and understand. It doesn't just happen just because you can play them.
And even when you can play them, like you gotta understand, like when you do a game from onset, even with previous source code, you're talking like a crew of people. You and me both can't program because you're gonna piss on my code where I don't need it pissed on. I remmed out shit and you're gonna fucking unrem it. And you know, I'm going, well, I took that out. Yeah, well, I was sitting there yesterday while you were home. I looked at the code again. That's how you get fucked up games. That's why what was good with Ed was the only guy that sat on the game in the early versions. Now it's a team of 20 people. And this is what you get, a smorgasbord of shit. You know, but, you know, again, it's just, like I said, just because you play good, you know, fucking Guitar Heroes doesn't mean you can start a real rock band.
Yeah.
And it doesn't mean you could design a Guitar Hero as a game.
I get 100%. Okay, cool. That means your fingers are fast. That's the best thing you got going for you. Fast fingers. You know where you'd be faster? Serving those McDonald's fries, motherfucker.
Yeah, the ones with the set skills are the ones who've learned things in life to actually create something. They're set in life to go and about and look for a job somewhere. But the ones who are consuming, they're just going to consume. It's about like, I think the best avenue in that direction is probably content creation. Just how funny can you be? How entertaining can you be?
And there's nothing wrong with that. Like, if again, I don't mind being the court jester sometimes. But my thing is, if you're gonna be funny, be fucking funny. Don't, like I said earlier, just because we laugh at jokes doesn't mean the consumer will.
Yeah.
And when you get outside of like a lot of these countries, whether it's England or America, where people don't give a fuck about your moral belief system.
Yeah.
I just care about one thing. When you put the game in and it lights up, is it doing everything that I intended for it to do?
Mm.
So it's like, if it doesn't, then I'm falling short, and I know my own shortcomings. But that's acquired over years.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me when I tell you, I've had many shitty games I worked on too. Like I can say, Mortal Kombat. So everybody's like, Mortal Kombat or NBA Jam. I'm like, oh yeah. But then I'll say like Prague or fucking Arch Rivals, or fucking Terminator 2, the side-scrolling game, not even the gun game.
Oh, I had the NES one.
Or Batman, Spider-Man and the Sinister Six, where it looks like motherfucking Danny DeVito dressed up as Spider-Man.
So I can blame you for that because that was an Easter present I received. Can I get a refund directly from you?
Yeah, you gotta get in line with the rest of the people after we file bankruptcy. They actually made a deal that, like, if they were ever to come out of bankruptcy, the CEO and all them are the first people to get paid, even though, like,
Of course.
Even though people got fucked over bad. Like, there was a girl that was pregnant, and she gave birth, and then after she gave birth, the hospital was like, "Yeah, your insurance didn't go through." She said, "What do you mean?" It says, "Yeah, it says you haven't had a policy for 3 months." They just canceled.
Oh my God.
Wow.
But it's again, it's within the scene. People are too arrogant to like. There's nothing like, when I get guys that I work with, I'll ask them, like, when it comes to wiring or something, I'm like, do you know the color code? Of course, everybody says, yeah, okay, I know it. And then I'm like, you know what? For shits and giggles, here's the wire, here's the fucking jacks. Terminate it for me. And they'll do it, and it'll be wrong. And I say, listen, I can't get mad at you for not knowing. I get mad at you for saying you did and fucked it up anyway. If you didn't know, you didn't know. I'll show you. But if you come off arrogant and say, like, you know how to make video games, but you got no track record. So what would I have to go with? What would I have to go on? Say, you know what, this guy can make video games. Well, because you're one combo breaker. You got fucking $280 as a fucking top prize.
Yeah,
So millions of dollars invested in you. Yeah, okay.
That makes sense to me. I don't know about anybody else, but I'm a little tired of just standing in one place. So I'll just ask one more question if that's okay, and then maybe we can wrap it up. Yeah. So just a final question from me. You know how in today's world you still see people playing Mortal Kombat 1, 2, 3, 4. You see me playing Deception, and you popped into my stream. People are still playing these games today. And the modern games, I can't imagine anybody in 20 years or 30 years playing them games and saying, oh, we used to play this when we were kids. So what's your thoughts on that? Like, what's the future of Mortal Kombat from this point?
You know what, it's funny. I want to say this was like only a couple of days ago. I was literally thinking about what you just said, and I said, do you know in 20 years, there ain't going to be no, yo, man, let's go file up some MKX or MK9 or They tried it at Combo Breaker, and it was fucking abysmal.
Yeah.
You know, and it's like, as far as the franchise goes, right? So, depending on the budgeting and how Paramount budgets, make no mistake. I believe in my heart of hearts that your buddy fucking Tyler's days are numbered.
My buddy. Yeah, my buddy. Yep.
And you know, like people like Tyler, 16-bit. So when a company takes over, they usually gut 21 to 33% of the roster of employees. Obviously, you're not getting rid of Boone. Obviously, you're not getting rid of sound guys. Obviously, you're not getting rid of producers. Unless they're fucked up, you know, unless they're really fucked up. Then, you know, but if Paramount's gonna do it, they gotta clear house.
I hope so. That would be a fucking dream come true. That would. I'd love to make a video laughing at Tyler. You lost your job, you cocksucker.
Shit, if that happened, I might actually go to Chicago just to stand outside the door and do the the kid on fucking Simpsons as if everyone walked by.
Yeah, and you know what? Anybody who's watching and you think I'm cruel for doing that, I don't give a fuck. If you can't do your damn job, you're not supposed to be in there. Go do something else. I don't want you to be homeless. I don't want you to be financially unstable. Just get out of our thing. Go do something else.
Listen, you could do, there's 2 jobs you qualify for right out the gate. You can leave the gaming industry, and then you can either be a Walmart greeter. Hey, welcome to Walmart. I'm Tyler Lansdowne. Or you could fucking be the guy fucking pushing the carts in the parking lot to the little cart carousel.
Or he could be a taste tester, like, you know, tasting a bunch of different foods, and or he could, you know what, he could do what they do at the FGC. He could join the pie eating contest and try and win some money.
He could, you know. I mean, it looks like he might be. I think he's too big already. I think he fucking choke.
Yeah.
But
I will say I think Mortal Kombat would benefit a lot from a meaner, leaner development team. Like, scale it back, stop trying to do these gigantic things, and get back more to the core of the game. So I agree.
you know, when I had said this to other people, 15 characters, that's it. Shut the fuck up. That's it, 15. I don't need 36 characters.
Yeah.
What happened to the days of people being able to main the whole roster? Like, I could play you right now in Mortal Kombat 1 and pick any character and beat you. I could do it in Mortal Kombat 2. I used to be able to do it in UMK3. You don't see that no more.
Yeah,
Everybody's an expert with a specific character.
I'm not specifically special in anything, but if you give me Mortal Kombat Deception and give me any character, I could at least pull off a couple of combos.
You know what? I'm gonna wind up fucking pulling that shit out, because I actually really liked a lot of the 3D era stuff.
Yeah, well, one of my questions was, like, what was your experience in the 3D era? I mean, I have time if you want to answer that.
I mean, as far as the 3D era, obviously, because it was the beginning of online. Like I said earlier, I had trolls that mimicked my account. And this guy, Red Saline, was using my gamer tag. And it's funny because, like, years later, guys that, you know, when the Legacy was coming out, and there was talks of a 3D version that never really transpired.
Yep.
People were like, "Oh, I remember you from the 3D." And I go, "You don't remember me, motherfucker." "No, I remember you, the name and everything." I'm like, "It wasn't me." He goes, "What do you mean?" I said, "I wasn't playing online. It was somebody that fucking, the guy that I just said earlier, he fucking trolling people, and he said he was me for some reason." So the guy's like, "Yeah, I remember." I said, "Listen, I played my 3D era games. Don't get me wrong, but like the competitive side at that time, I was doing a lot of the IRL shit. So it wasn't between that and Final Fantasy VII. That consumed my 3D realm. Because Final Fantasy VII was like the last RPG I did. Because when I do RPGs, I gotta get 100%.
Yeah.
I can't be doing that 95, 97. I gotta be 100. So that consumed a lot of my 3D era time. I mean, Deadly Alliance, it didn't grab me.
Really? Okay.
But so my problem with the 3D stuff, this is even going to 4. When you make a game that's a 2D game, and you throw it into a 3D environment, it fucks up the meta times 1,000. Where, if you're in the 2D era and Scorpion throws the spear, you have 2 choices. You could make it duck it and let it pass, or jump over it.
Yeah.
You add this variable in. I just got to sidestep it in the 3D era. So you just nullified every projectile in the game.
Yeah, it's sidestepping. There's so little opportunity like that you give up by sidestepping. It actually puts you at an advantage in a lot of cases.
Yeah. So that always kind of turned me off. And again, like, Ed's been notorious as far as like, let's just say, UMK3. What did he take? KI combos, dial combos, and incorporated into that. When Tekken 3 came out, all of a sudden Mortal Kombat 4 came out, the beginning of the 3D era. The create a fatality, create a character. They tried to incorporate some originality. I don't know, the 3D era, and Brady will get mad at me for this because, I just didn't think it was good. And the sales numbers prove that. That's not to say I didn't have fun with it. But I also, when I look at these games, I look at it both on the business side and so if you were to say on the business side, complete failures. On the fun side, I sure as hell enjoyed it. Yeah.
I mean, that's totally understandable. I mean, if anybody else came to me and said that, I would chew them out. But, I'm not going to do that with you because you're the legend in the MK community. Hey, James, I really, really appreciate you reaching out to me and actually coming here and doing this conversation with us. It's had an impact on me. Thank you for that.
Not a problem, and don't forget, Tyler, fuck Sean, and fuck Dominic the cockboy.
Yeah, fuck all of them. I'm gonna make like 100 videos telling them to fuck off, and I won't stop until they're gone.
It sounds like I gotta make a fucking song about them.
Yeah, I'll end this video with a song. Hey, Yagami, thanks for your time as well, man.
Yeah, and thank you again, James. It's really fun. Hopefully we can do this again in the future. We'll get some more topics, or if news comes out, we can discuss maybe if we do get some Mortal Kombat news. But we could talk this stuff forever, which is awesome to. We got like 3 generations of MK fans here that can all talk about MK forever.
Literally.
Wow, that's a lot of fucking time. Oh, here we go. Who's it? Lex just hit me up. What did Lex ask? Oh no, Lex is one of the testers from MK3 only. He watches birds, the metal shit going. What's it? Turkeys? The fuck's he doing? Dude, he lives in an area where like bobcats run around. Kind of cool though. Like you look out in your yard, there's a fucking bobcat just hanging out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, until you get hit with an animality.
Yeah.
James, do you want like people to come over to your social medias and stuff you can plug?
Yeah, what can you plug?
I don't need a plug. I'm fucking James Plain Jane. I'm obviously the On Blast show.
Yeah, the On Blast show.
The On Blast show 2012, and I told you there's a lot of good nuggets in those fucking playlists.
Yeah.
Oh hell yeah. I've been listening to some.
Did you get to the NBA Jam yet?
No, I've been listening to the podcast with Tobias and anybody else I might recognize.
I was listening to the Daniel Pesina one.
Yeah, you don't have Carlos Pesina in your list?
No. All right. So the deal with Carlos was, so again, NRS as a whole, or Midway, you weren't allowed to do any of those if you were employed. So the fact was, even though Daniel did it because he wasn't working for them, but Carlos was still working as an animator.
Right.
So I could get him on. Tobias was gone when I got the interview. See, that's what I'm saying. So that's why, like, one of the funny things is, like, you couldn't even, like, NRS had such a strong on who, like, your social media presence, and this is very telling. Your social media presence was monitored, but yet you got a fucking worthless fucking community manager that couldn't even do the job right. So it was like you couldn't. So I never got him. I had gotten all the people from the web series. The longest one is Cary Tagawa. That's fucking 9 hours long. I had him on.
Damn.
That was the record. And believe it or not, I think Daniel had the record before that, which was like 6.5 hours or some shit.
That's some Mortal Kombat stamina right there.
And then I had Jax on. I had original people on.
Sonya.
Sonya, Sindel. Sindel's a lost file though, for a reason. Won't get into that.
I got to watch the Cary Tagawa one. That, like, he was such an awesome actor, and, like, he was so definitive for a role as Shang Tsung. But even his other roles, he's just seemed like such an awesome actor.
Funny about him is I took him out to dinner one night, and like in fucking goddamn fucking typical Shang Tsung fashion, we go to a diner. First of all, do you guys eat liver?
I
have. My dad loves it.
I'd
eat it if it was on my plate.
Would you?
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah, my dog would fucking look at me with that face of really, motherfucker, because I'm throwing it on the floor. And you're gonna hear the lick sound of the dog going, bitch, I thought this was a steak, you fucking liar. and he just walks away from it. That's how much I despise it. But not only that, so I go out with Cary Tagawa. We go to this diner, and I order a typical burger. And he wants, say whatever you want. He says, I'm gonna get a liver rare.
A liver rare. Yeah.
Is that legal in all countries? I don't even know. I said, at that point, it's cannibalism. And he's like, I want it rare with extra onions. And the only way I could describe it is like, yes, he cut it, but it's like he could have drank it with a straw.
Damn.
And I was like,
it sounds like my great grandmother. That was liver and onions was my great grandmother's meal.
I was like, listen, I don't think I never ate liver, and I've never eaten, which is ironic because I'll eat liverwurst. Don't ask me why, but I'll eat liverwurst with tons of mustard on it. Same thing with eggs, though. I've never, get this one, in 56 years, I've never eaten eggs any other way besides scrambled. And if I eat it scrambled, it has to have 50 pounds of hot sauce and ketchup on it.
Wow.
Easter time when you go look for the Easter eggs and shit, I'd find them and give them to my fucking fat brother. Here you go. I don't want them. But yeah, Cary Tagawa was a great guy. Every one of the people that I got on that show were great.
Yeah.
Then I did like I said, I did the guys from the miniseries. That they like, so Cyrax and Sector came on. The guy who played Stryker is a fucking really good fucking motion capture guy. That
was the other Shang Tsung on there, right? I thought I saw.
Yes, Dr. Philip Ahn was on.
Yep.
John Turk was on.
Yeah.
The only one that I didn't get was Elizabeth Malecki, the original Sonya.
Oh yeah.
And then Striker, because people only found Striker like last year. Nobody knew like, and I used to ask Ed, I was like, yo, dude, you know where this guy fucking, where he is, who he is? Nobody knew. And then
He was like lost media.
Tabak 99 wound up, I think it was Tabak 99 that wound up finding him.
Tabak rules.
Yeah.
He's great. He's like, if you ever want somebody that's truly, like, he was there back in the day.
Yeah.
You know, he truly is a lore of like the lore.
I grew up watching his MK Pavilion Flash animations, if anybody knows them.
Yep,
Well,
Tabak is great.
So if you go to the Pavilion site, the fake MK stuff, there's in the fake stuff, there's Fighter Edge. That was my original website in 93 or 4. And that's when I put the fake fucking Boone announced that, you know, Mortal Kombat Nitro was coming out for, you know, Atari 2600 or some shit. And I'd actually spoofed it, and I put a whole fake version of the game. Tabak 99, and this guy Tom Romanato did that non-canon comic. Did you see that?
Yes.
I didn't.
And in the comic, Red Robin is a character that, if you look in the back of the books that I sent you, Red Robin is in that fucking my rumor section in that one in the Mortal Kombat 2 book. He's actually the guy that saves Ferris, whatever Nimbus, whatever his name is in it. You know, so they've been talking to me a lot about a lot of rumors and bullshit that I've done over the years. So they got a bunch. They want to release them every April as April Fools. And I'm like, nah, dude, you guys got a good thing here with the non-canon. Like, I would do like one a month. You know, and showcase Ned the janitor and all the other characters that fucking have been made up. There was a guy who made a character Chrome.
Yeah,
Yep.
I
remember
actually
Chrome guy.
I think I've talked to that guy before back in the forums. There was a guy who used to annoy people all the time about
He was
Chrome.
fucking nuts. He was fucking bonkers.
Yeah.
He went out, he got mad. He yelled at me one day. He's like, you could get Boone to listen to me. I go, what the fuck?
Yeah.
I'm like, no, dude, I can't. I said, he can't. He went out, he paid artists.
Yep.
Dime Chrome, and I'm going, dude, I don't want to like rain on your parade. Your character's not that fucking interesting. He's basically a Cylon from Battlestar Galactica.
It's
Yeah,
funny.
he's like a
'cause-
T-1000 ninja.
Yeah,
That was
yeah.
it.
But he evolved him over the years to the liquid metal, but he was fucking crazy. All those guys back in the day. All those guys, IRC days.
Yeah. Yeah, I was on the Kami Dogu forums and he was on there too, harassing everybody with his Chrome.
He was everywhere, dude.
Was it JRF? No, it was something else. I can't remember his name now. But yeah, he would nonstop fucking, we gotta get him in the game. Like I'm going, what's his name?
Yeah, I remember telling people saying to him, like, can you just fuck off with this dumb story? Like, we've how many times are we gonna read it?
And the worst part was, obviously it would never happen. For the reason it never happens, obviously, is because, let's just say it's successful. You didn't get paid, you're gonna sue. That's why they don't take ideas from the public.
Yep.
You know, and that's it, plain and simple. So it's like, with me, it was easy to take ideas because the fact that I was involved in the industry, and I made it clear I never I'm not like one of these guys. Give me credit. I want my credit. Nah, I don't give shit. And because I thought it would be entertaining, it was funny, and if it made people chuckle, fucking all the power to you. But yeah, he was fucking And there was a couple. There was MKF30. He was another one that like he was like, oh, I was a voice actor, and he would come on with a mic and like do like the fucking Allstate commercial guy's voice. I'm like, dude, I just want to play a fucking couple of games and go to bed. I don't need to know your desire to be a voice actor. You know, but there was a lot of weird people back in the day. But anyway, listen, let me let you guys go. It is fucking 9:30 my time.
It's for me. It's 2:35 in the morning.
The important thing is, next time we do this, we can all brainstorm how to get Chrome into Mortal Kombat 13.
No, please, no. He's
really
already.
No, change his gender.
Yeah, and his race as well. But he's already in MK1. We've got that T1000 guy.
It's not good enough.
It's not good enough. You gotta make
He needs to be a ninja.
Hey, again, James, really appreciate you reaching out and joining us on this here. And I'd be so happy to have you again anytime if you'd like.
Yeah, like I said, let me go get my surgery done and heal and.
Yeah, best of luck with that.
Yeah, if anybody doesn't know, he's joining the Cyber Initiative, so he's getting some metal upgrades.
It'd be kind of cool if like I walk through metal detectors. I don't know how it works. If I go through metal detectors and I beep now.
You're gonna get stripped down.
Like, check under my balls. I think I got something under there. Especially if it's good looking chicks. I'm like, yo, listen, it keeps going. I think I got a metal testicle. Oh God! But anyway, guys, great chiming in.
Yeah.
Big fuck you.
Thanks, then, James.
Yeah, fuck you, NRS. Go to hell. Fuck off out of our game.
I guess I'm gonna take the props here and say you didn't yell.
I can't yell. It's like 2 in the morning. If I yell now, the police are gonna come and stop me.
I'm like, damn.
The only thing angrier than Napper is angry Napper wife being woken up by angry Napper.
What I was gonna do was hide in my car with this setup, and then I could shout as much as I want. But it was a lot easier to do it in the garage, so I gotta be quiet in here.
See, I was actually originally gonna do this on my phone and go out in my car down to the beach.
Yeah.
And if I yell, then the worst thing I had to worry about is a bunch of fucking whales hearing me.
You know what? Let's do it like that next time. So then I'll just unleash the full force, because I feel I really held back on NRS today, and I need my daily fix of saying fuck you, you cunts, you fucking assholes, you ruined my fucking game.
Okay, we gotta go, otherwise he's gonna get fired up.
You stupid fucking cunt. I love that word. Europe made that word so acceptable. I dare you. I fucking dare you. Come to New York.
Yeah.
And I'm not telling you to call a girl that word. I'm just telling you to say it out loud around a bunch of girls.
Okay.
And you will see the wrath of New York bitches.
I will see the wrath of feminism.
Oh, no. These aren't feminists. These are some street gangster chicks.
Okay.
You call me a cunt? You won't even be looking at them. Bitch will be 2 blocks away. She come walking. You called me a cunt? Like, what? I don't even know who the fuck you are. I heard you say it. I got a cunt.
I got a message for Dominic Cianciolo. Hey man, look, if you want to come on a podcast, and say your things, Yeah, we're friendly, we're nice. Come on a podcast.
Okay, good luck.
Yes.
Good luck on that.
All right, guys, I'm gonna log this off now. Appreciate you. Thanks, and have a good night.
Have a good one.
Bye-bye.
2 angry Americans and a lunatic Brit step in the bar. What you get? A motherfucking podcast, straight raising the bar. Yo, Mortal Kombat talk, got the scene in a chokehold. We calling shots from the gutter while the corporate script gets sold. No retort needed, that's the view from our side. 3 loudmouth renegades taking a reckless ride. Pointing at the suits, pointing at the screen, questioning the choices in the state. scholarship, no filters, no polished PR spin. We kicking down the door, let the chaos begin. Middle fingers high, we don't care who gets mad. Every hot take hit like a punch from a psychopath. Raw, uncensored, straight out the concrete fog. No, sit down, shut up, we attack like dogs. Raw, uncensored, every word a street scar. Three maniacs screaming from the back of the bar. YagamiFire, bring the heat, let the whole room burn. Napper, bring the pain, every critic get a turn. JamessMK, walk in, calm face, cold stare. Everybody lose their minds when they realize he's there. No saints in the building, no heroes to applaud. Just a crew of loud critics going hard and going broad. Calling out the nonsense, laughing at the show. If the truth feels ugly, then the truth gotta glow. No corporate halo, no manufactured grace. Just underground energy all up in your face. That's the anthem of the night. Every spark becomes a fight. Let the whole damn city know. Three maniacs on the mic and we stealing the show. From the bar to the broadcast, chaos on demand. Unfiltered conversations from a reckless little band. Love it or hate it, we ain't changing who we are. Two angry Americans and a lunatic Brit at the bar. From the bar to the broadcast, chaos on demand. Unfiltered conversations from a reckless little band. Love it or hate it, we ain't changing who we are. Two angry Americans and a lunatic Brit at the bar.